So,
I'm eventually going to.
you all have been gathered from across the continents. Some from even beyond the continents, from all across the realm. There have been, growing up, life has maybe not always been easy for you, but one way or another, you've been led to this point in time, in this point in space. Whether by the strings of fate, the will of gods, or something else entirely. No one is quite sure. But you and your characters are about to find yourselves at the epicenter of a multi-millennia old struggle that has once again found itself threatening our plane of existence. Most of you have been on the road just traveling for various reasons, and you have found your way to the small farming city of Falberg. It's a small walled city with just very standard stone walls erected, no more than 15 feet high. A fairly simple town, but wide borders. But all surrounding this town are farms. This is very much the grain capital of this continent. This is where most of the grain is grown and harvested from the farmers who live on this land. Those of you who have been traveling, you have spent the evening at the inn. Those of you who are still traveling are to make your way here. But where we left, for those of you who I actually worked with personally, where we left off with you laying your head to rest at the inn, our story picks up right there where that leaves off. You feel yourself tossing and turning in the night, unable to sleep, just restless as there's this unfamiliar presence that you feel in your mind, in your dreams. And as you dream this evening, regardless of whether you're a vivid dreamer or you very rarely have dreams, there is an incredibly vivid sensation that you feel overtaken by in this dream. And as you kind of open your eyes in this dream, you're merely a spectator, but through eyes that aren't your own. You look around you and you see a variety of other adventurers around you. Some of you may see a dwarf and an elf and a satyr. Others may see a satyr, a human, and a dwarf. It's almost as though each of you are viewing the same group from different perspectives, from different sets of eyes in whatever party this is. And you find yourselves, and you don't know who these people are. You don't know who you are. You don't even have the chance to glance at yourself. There's no reflective surfaces to see back on. But you get this eerie feeling that you're not yourself in this dream. You find yourself traveling through these underground catacombs, seemingly hastily dug, with dirt mounded up on the sides and tossed aside hastily. You enter a grand chamber with the echoing of an infernal ritual taking place. And the heroic adventures that you're seeing this dream through go and face off against the forces of darkness. You're not quite sure who or what they are, but there's this giant hulking behemoth practically made of living shadow. There's a thin, lithe being wielding a gnarled, wicked-looking sword riding atop what could only be described as a nightmare. And then there's a being, a person, something, a silhouette that's perpetually immolated. And that's where the echoing voice of this ritual is coming from. And as your avatars, if you will, as they're fighting this through, the ritual grows in intensity, and you feel as though there's this urgency to press on and stop the ritual, but there are these forces who are holding you back at bay. Some of you look to the side and you see the dwarf lay the large creature low with a hefty strike to the knee, and he reaches into his pack and produces a spear, of all things, that seems to magically grow and extend in his hand as he pulls it out from his pack. He throws it and sinks it deep into the creature, and it writhes in agony, screaming with a voiceless sound. There's no sound, but it's almost as though there should be. And it's almost as if the unlife force of this creature is drawn into the spear and seemingly into the great hammer that it held. This opportunity is taken where two of the adventurers push up one side of the ritual chamber to interrupt this profane creature uttering these infernal utterances. He is forced to respond in kind and begins to unleash hellfire and magic upon the rest of the party. And there is a fight to the death. One party member goes down here, another party member goes down. The lithe figure atop the infernal horse goes down and has their life force drawn out of them by a similar spear drawn out of the bag of the elf. And the human and the elf then focus the fight on the profaning zealot, if you will. The human and the elf eventually are victorious, only through the sacrifice of the dwarf. In his dying breath, he utters a blessing to them that they may have the strength to lay down their last enemy and return them to death. But the human, who seems to know his way around a sword, cuts true and cuts deep into the chest of this ever-burning figure. He falls and crumbles to his knees, madly raving all the while, and the elf drives the spear into this man, draining what perversion of life filled his eyes. And just as with the large hulking figure, his essence, it felt as though it went into his hammer. The lithe figure, it almost feels as though their essence went into their sword. This zealous person seems as though his essence was drawn into a ring on his finger. These two remaining adventurers carefully gather these objects and determine that they will scatter them across the lands so that none may find them, and that this ritual may well stay hidden and lost to time. And you feel yourself, those of you who have not, whose avatars have not died yet, you feel as though you're beginning an out-of-body experience as your vision kind of comes out of the back of their heads. And you're all now viewing this all from a third-person perspective as they finish discussing and they leave this cave, only to seal the entrance, and you almost see overlaid in your vision this map as you feel that they go through all corners of the continent, hiding and stashing away these objects of immense power in what they believe to be safe locations. And as they part ways, your attention is brought to the elf. Still kind of their presence overlaid on this mental representation of a map. They travel to their home in the west, and mere days later, you're not certain of the passage of time, but you're sure that hasn't been long. There is a great and grand catastrophe that engulfs the west coast of this continent, and just bathing it in spellfire and sundering the land that it may yield no life. The human, the last remaining person from this dream, all of y'all's focus is directed to him as he traverses the map and eventually seems to settle someplace. Seems to have a family. Your family grows, and there's a particular lineage that's followed. You're not sure who or what it is, but there's a lineage that's followed, and you follow this lineage as it travels around the map as well. This lineage seems to settle around the center of the map, the center of this continent, where those of you who are a little more conscious than others, you realize that this is likely where you're staying for the night. In Falberg. It's roughly the location on the map. And you see almost this time lapse of people building this city and people settling in farms around it. But then your view kind of comes into the town around this square, and you see as there's this monument erected with the faces of these adventurers. You recognize all but one of the faces, the one that was yourself. And you see the passage of days, weeks, years, decades, and centuries go by as this monument is weathered and it's worn, and as the village is built around it, as people live and die in their short human lifespans. And then time just stops and stands still. The sun rises and the shadow moves, and when it reaches a certain angle in the day, everything just stops, and you're left with an eerie feeling, as though something is going to happen. You hear in this dream a sharp whinny of a horse, and you're all awoken from the dream, and you find yourselves again, waking up in whatever beds or whatever bedrolls you left yourselves in the night prior, left wondering what in the Nine Realms this was. And at this point, I will open the floor for any of you who wish to do something. You've just woken up this morning and you just had this really friggin' weird dream. But you're probably hungry because you haven't eaten in hours.
Just for clarity, we're all at the inn?
If you're at the inn, you're at the inn. If you're not at the inn, you know where you are. And if you don't know where you are, make up where you are. But those who are at the inn know that they're at the inn.
Okay. If I remember correctly, I ended at the end.
That is correct. Yes.
So I'm going to gather my things, and I'm going to head down to the common area.
Okay.
Where I order breakfast, survey the folks there, and then ask the one of the staffers about local blacksmiths, where all the merchants are, and stuff like that.
So they give you just some general answers. Yeah, the smithy's halfway across town. There's a general store around the corner. This, that, the other. They give you just general standard information as though they've lived there for quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
As you're having this discussion, there's some movement out of the corner of your eye as people come into the tavern, and you kind of catch some gray stone out of the corner of your eye as the door's closing. Someone else can pick it up from here.
I believe I've also ended at the end.
Yes, you have.
And I'm going to double check my weaponry
Okay.
for the morning, and I'm going to go down and grab breakfast myself.
Cool. Your equipment is all in working order. It's your bow is strung, a taut string. Your arrows are where as you left them. And as you turn to exit your room, you glance out the small window, and it's not the greatest window because it's not the greatest glass. It's really kind of frosty and impure. But you as well notice just this oddly stone-colored blob out your window into the street, wherever that is. But not thinking much of it at the time, or just more concerned about breakfast, you head out of your room and head downstairs into the common room.
I'm also in the inn. I'm gonna gather my things, make sure my scroll is in my backpack.
Okay.
I'm gonna head down to breakfast as well, and I'm gonna try to talk to somebody. Maybe somebody can figure out what my scroll says.
Okay, cool. As you walk down the stairs, you actually hear some folks coming up the stairs. Very much out of town, just arriving in town, getting their bed. It's this newlywed married couple, and they're like, it's almost as though they're starting their honeymoon at like the bottom of the barrel here, because you hear them uttering, like as they're coming up the stairs, you hear them talk about how they're gonna head elsewhere on the continent, and they're just gonna go where the road takes them. But the lady mentions that it was an interesting statue she saw. She's never seen anything quite like it. pass to one of you at this point to.
Go first. You want me to go first?
Good.
Okay. I assume that I am coming in from just outside of town.
Okay.
Woke up early this morning before sunrise, and I'm now just getting there. And I'll stop in to get a light breakfast.
Okay. You walk in actually from the side door of the inn. This is actually where most folks enter because it's along the main thoroughfare, where most of the town, like people coming into town, come through their main entrance. But you walk in and you get the feeling as though there's something out there. There's something that seems familiar that's just beyond your vision. But it's an odd sensation that leaves as quickly as it arrives, and you think nothing else of it, but you've come in to join breakfast.
Must have been the wind. Okay.
Yes. Giles, if you so choose, you don't have to be at the end, but...
No,
Do
I
your
just
thing.
sent you something on Discord.
Oh, cool.
Jaunty.
He wants to burn down the inn.
So, at this point...
That was our other friend who we played another game with.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one. So you all, it's kind of odd. Madison, his character, he comes downstairs, he's already at the bar, he's having the conversation. You two come down from opposite stairwells, and you're almost synchronized with your approach. It's kind of odd, but okay, there's a lot of people in town. But you have never seen anyone quite like her. She is... How would you describe yourself when someone looks at you, who doesn't know what you are, but how would you describe your appearance to a layman?
6'3", half dragon, blue skin, blue scales, and I have long tentacles coming out of my head. I got
Frills,
these
but yes.
frills. I have large horns that almost wrap around my head like a crown, and I'm very muscular, big.
So you see a giant blue lizard walking down the stairs with horns. That's a little out of the ordinary. And as you both kind of come downstairs, you may be sizing her up. You may be like, okay, there's a person in front of me. I've seen people everywhere. At this time, you're kind of coming into the tavern, and you see this odd joining of two people. Again, giant blue lizard with horns and a person. They're just kind of, they're looking at each other. And something you notice specifically, there's a gentleman at the bar talking with one of the workers who has long ears.
Oh.
Yes.
I polished them this morning.
The floor is yours. Whoever wishes to chime in.
Floor is yours.
Well, I like this floor. Okay, well, I pick up my breakfast and I look at an open table near the people who have just entered the dining area, and I come and I hearken to them and I say, "Greetings, so-and-so. The breakfast here so far has been delightful."
Now, are you speaking with just townspeople who have entered the tavern, or are you speaking with these two who, or her who has come downstairs or in from the outside?
Let me see, it was her that I noticed, right?
So
Or was
she
it
noticed
both?
you,
Okay.
but you noticed these two coming down the stairs, this massive blue lizard and just a lady.
Who's the closest then?
Well, let's do this. Let's pick it up with you guys. Let's pick up y'all's interaction and figure out how that's handled. And from there we can have y'all enter the bar and you can interact with them and invite them to the table.
Okay.
Yeah. Rewind.
You have this inviting energy about you, and I don't know anybody. So, of course, I'm gonna try to figure out if you're a linguist or a polyglot.
Initial approach, I feel a little bit odd being not the person who is the odd person out.
Ah, okay.
To be the spectacle of of a group, and almost want to see what it's like from the other side of the lens
Okay.
to learn something new about a person of more curious origins than myself.
Okay. Real quick, the purpose of this. Are you closed how you were in our one-on-one session?
I'm so sorry. Give me just a moment.
Yes.
Okay, yes.
Yes.
Closed. Zoe, go ahead and roll a perception check. So it'll be a d20 plus your perception skill.
Which is my proficiency bonus, right?
Well, so if you have the little dot next to perception filled in, that will be wisdom plus proficiency that you add to it.
Okay. 18.
18.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Would you describe what markings she can see?
So, on my arms coming out from my sleeveless top, you will see vinage coming out from the back of my shoulders and wrapping around the front with bits of flora along them, and that's mostly on the left side. On the right side, it's almost as if there's a depiction of pixies just going and being playful in what is like a forest setting, and that's fun.
Okay. Cool. So you've had this interaction. You kind of now. Did you openly speak to her about that? Like you're interested in meeting someone else because you don't know anyone, or is that you just narrating your intention?
Well, yes, because I noticed that she's very different from everybody else that's in the inn that I've seen, and I've always felt like the odd man out as well, so I feel like it'd be the most comfortable approach.
Cool. Which of you breaks the ice first? Because you're kind of there sizing each other up at this point. Awkwardly.
Actually, I think I'm gonna wait for you to approach me before I say anything.
Okay. You have quite a presence. Would you mind having breakfast with me?
You want to day drink too?
Well, I can't turn down a good mean beer. Definitely caught me off guard on that one, I'll be sure. But I could have it taken.
My kind of person. Let's have a chat. Let's sit down.
Alrighty.
So you hear day drinking, and at this point you kind of find yourselves, and you've approached your table, and you've heard them say day drinking, and
Brunch and mimosas.
there you go. If you so choose, you can invite them to your table. Otherwise, you can like say, I ain't about that day drinking lifestyle.
Now, I'd like to, just to recap a moment. So we have a dragonkin, and we have a
Human-looking person with fey markings on them.
human
Vine
person
lady.
with fey markings.
Fine lady.
A vine lady, yes. That,
Vine
we'll
ladies.
we'll go with that for now.
Oh, good morning, ladies. Aren't you radiant? We have an open table over here if you're welcome to sharing company.
Give us a
Red
twirl.
You may notice I am a high elf, but I like to think of myself as more of a high elf. And inside my mind, I think, got him.
Nailed it.
Got you.
I'm gonna cast an awkward side eye at my partner I just invited to drink and kind of follow her lead on whether she would like this supposed high elf to join our table.
Roll to see if he's high or not.
Got him.
So there's another person who's currently in the inn, who's just sitting there. See a dude with ears, and you see a giant lizard lady, and a person with tattoos. What are you doing?
Well, I immediately, as soon as I spot him, I go up to this other sir. So I guess y'all are like looking at each other, and I just come around, and I'm just like, well, hello. I see you have the same ear deformity as me.
Oh my gosh, I thought I was the only one. Jokingly, I say. It is so great to see another pointy-eared brethren here. Hi, I'm Nimbus.
Hello, I'm Winifred. Winifred Tiller.
Winifred Tiller, it is so great to meet you. And I was just introducing myself, inviting these other two ladies here to sit with us.
Oh.
Would you like to share a table? We're just, or I should say, excuse me, I was just about to get breakfast.
Well, I was also about to get breakfast, so this is perfect.
Oh my gosh, we have so much in common!
We do, the pointy ears, the tallness. We got it all.
Yeah. So go ahead and take a moment, and for those of you who have not described yourself, kind of describe yourselves. Nimbus, you
Sure.
just kind of, you're an elf. That's all we know so far.
A high elf.
Or a high
A
elf.
high elf.
Yeah.
In more ways than one.
More of a hello elf.
Ah, okay.
Less of the. Well, Nimbus is a very strange high elf. Normally, you would think of elves as very put together, very pristine, and very uptight, as it were. Hence the high.
Almighty.
But this gentleman seems like he would feel more at home living amongst simple village folk, maybe even showing some experience at times in the wild. He has a very scraggly beard, which is almost unheard
I
of
didn't know the elves could have those.
amongst other elves,
Yeah.
which alone is very weird. Plus, his demeanor is unusually approachable when it comes to high elves that you've met in the past. So, you'll see him with a light cape covering very practical leather armor, but very well kept. And while he seems put together, he also seems very down to earth.
Cool.
All right.
And there's you have the floor.
Good old Winifred, as she comes up and also has pointy ears. You'll probably notice that she has very, very light hair, almost white, but more of like a blondish.
Kind of like a platinum blonde, you would say.
Yeah. And very tanned skin. Y'all too will notice that she looks very similar to this other high elf in terms of species. Tall, quite muscular with plate armor and some like robes. Blue and like yellow robes.
Cool. Are there any details the two of you ladies, the remaining ladies, would like to fill in about your appearances?
You'll notice I have monk robes, but no cloak, because, you know, I have a lot going on up here.
Makes sense.
So I have long hair tied back in a intricate braid. Hair is jet black with, as I said before, a sleeveless top with tattoos going down both arms that appear to continue underneath the shirt. And then I'm wearing leather pants with high leather boots, and I assume I'm carrying my weaponry,
Would be a fair assumption.
which is a long bow and some short swords.
Cool. So you've kind of met. Are you all sitting down at the table, or you're just standing there awkwardly?
Well, I'm sitting down at the table, motioning to my fellow elf friend, and gently inviting, but not pressuring the other two.
Okay.
So I'm cautious, but I want to see what happens. So I say we do it. So we sit down.
Have you gotten your breakfast yet?
Yes,
Okay,
Yeah.
so you have food.
I have it with me.
Okay.
So if y'all decide to sit down, there are some roaming barkeeps who are kind of working the floor, and you think that one would eventually come over and notice that y'all don't have food and don't have a plate in front of you and say, hey, would you like anything?
Okay.
That's seems like a reasonable assumption to make at an establishment of this size.
I'd like to get up from the table when an innkeeper or barkeep comes over towards me to
Okay.
kind of like put an arm around them and ask them about that thing that we were talking about.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So he eventually comes up. So y'all are sitting down, right? I assume that the last of you two sat, right?
We sat down.
Okay, cool.
I followed
Sat
her.
down. You're fine. You're fine. I was just clarifying and making sure. So everyone's seated at the table. There's kind of like just really low small talk. Everyone's kind of like, we're not quite sure what we're doing yet. There's a bunch of strangers in front of me, and I just sat down with people I don't know. This day couldn't get weirder, but it's already pretty weird because reasons. And this young fellow, probably 15, 16, shade over 5'5", comes up. Lightly tanned skin just from being out in the sun, living out in the open. Comes by just with a kind of like an apron, but set around his waist, not like full apron, but just half apron. Comes up and asks, "Greetings, fellow patrons. Is there anything I can get for you? Any waters, beers, freshly squeezed, freshly milked milk?
What's my freshly
Any
squeezed
bacon
cow?
or potatoes or other breakfast grains and breads, toast?" And he kind of like gestures his hands out.
Beers around the table.
Beers around the
Well,
table,
yeah,
so
yeah,
I've
yeah.
been told.
All right, beers are on the table. And food as well, or
Do
are
you
you?
have French fries?
I don't know that I've ever heard those two words put together like that. Is this some cultural dish of your people?
You know what? Don't worry about it. I'll just have the drink. Thank you,
Okay.
my friend.
No bread or potatoes or bacon or steak or any
I'll
breakfast.
have steak.
Eggs?
Steak and eggs.
Steak and eggs. Okay. Steak and eggs for the 2 portions of steak and eggs.
Oh, 3.
3 portions of steak and eggs.
Very
Okay, yes, yes, yes.
I believe I'll have a single portion of what
Okay,
she's
single
having.
portion of steak and eggs. Excellent. And you? And he looks to you, and this is probably when you stand up if you so choose to do so. Okay, you stand up.
So yeah, I
So he
stand up and
looks-
kind of
What?
pull him aside.
How far aside are you pulling him?
Far enough away that the others can't hear, I guess.
Okay. And so you're whispering to this man?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I kind of like look around the bar as well, just in case there's anybody else that's like looking at us.
Okay. And respond in chat for that one.
As she's talking to the person, I kind of lean over to one of the ladies. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, do they have a secret menu here?"
Option 1 or option 2?
It hasn't come in yet.
Oh, it hasn't?
Sorry.
Gosh, friggin' darn it. This wouldn't happen if you were on my Wi-Fi.
I thought I was.
I don't know if you are or not, but I sent it.
No, I'm not.
It's all a conspiracy. It's all a lie.
Shoot.
The birds aren't real.
And yet they tweet. Yes, I should be.
Oh, well, my friend, while we wait for our beers, I have yet to see somebody of your countenance before. Would you mind giving me your name, if it is not any trouble?
I'm not sure if I trust her enough to give her my name, but I'll give it to you anyways, if you give me yours.
Absolutely. My name is Eritrea.
Eritrea. Beautiful. I've never heard anything like that before. My name is Sora.
Sora.
Actually, no, I don't.
Kind to
I'm
make
so
your
sorry.
acquaintance.
That's good. You as well. Can I have your name?
Well, I'm still using it, but my name is Nimbus. It's nice to meet you.
You know what? You too. Even though you're kind of odd.
I certainly am. So Sora and Eritrea.
Seems to be the case. So, I find myself wandering here upon happenstance. Is there any particular thing that brings y'all here, or are you native, or?
I come from far away, actually. This random man gave me a scroll. Never met him before. He just came up to me in the middle of nowhere. And he told me that I would find the right time and somebody would help me read the scroll, because I don't speak the language.
Odd.
Do you know anything about that?
Can't say I do. Do you happen to have any knowledge of what language the scroll contains?
You can look at it if you want
I
to.
can look at it. Okay. I'll go ahead and look at the scroll.
Okay. So she passes you the scroll, and It's kind of tied on two ends with just this thin cord, kind of like twine of some sort. So you carefully untie both ends of the scroll, and you unroll it, and you kind of like get your bearings on it. Is it like read this way? Is it read this way? This way? This way? You kind of get your bearings, and you see this finely written script.
Common, Sylvan, Celestial.
Thank you. You do not recognize this script. Well, it seems familiar, and it seems almost as though it's maybe a derivative of like Sylvan or something, but you can't discern what this script is. There's some rudimentary kind of sketches of what appear to be stances or forms of combat for an unarmed style of combat. But it has all the descriptions and what appear to be instructions are written in a language you do not understand.
As unfortunate as it may be, I can't say I am able to decipher the language written here. But I will say it has some familiarity to Sylvan. But not enough for me to be able to decipher any further.
No worries.
If I may, being of Elvish heritage myself, perhaps I could take a look at it.
All right.
Of course. I'll hand it over.
Cool. So it passes to you.
All right.
Yeah.
I take a good look at it,
Okay.
and I want to seriously observe it,
Okay.
and I want to handle it with care.
Cool. So it is definitely an old scroll, and yeah, so I gave you your response there. And yes, just after this. It's an old scroll, and it is clearly written in Elvish. Definitely an old dialect of Elvish. Not too derelict where you don't have any clue what it's saying, but it'll take some care in reading. But it basically details this process of how to, pardon me, perform a unique martial art. It says it speaks of balancing the elements within and channeling energy and striking true and waiting with patience and all of these different ideas which sound kind of martial arty, kind of magic-y, but also kind of like really foreign to what you're aware of. But yeah, and it just kind of details these things of like a state of mind and body.
Is there any
Energy.
indication as to the author of the script?
As to the author, go ahead and roll investigation.
Okay. Investigation.
Roll big.
Or roll hard. Uh,
24.
That's intelligence, right?
It's intelligence based for investigation. Yes.
Well, I only rolled a cumulative 8, so
That is not
Ouch.
20. That is not 24.
That is not a 24. No. So cumulative 8. You investigate the scroll, and you're still a little preoccupied with like the age of the script and like kind of sussing it out. It seems kind of interesting to you. So as you look for an author or any kind of designation, you seem to be unable to find one just because you keep like getting distracted with like, the intricacies of this script.
Okay, can I go ahead and start relaying back the information?
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Not like word for word, or you're just like
Not word for
summarizing
word. I'll summarize a little bit of stuff well, here. So this is very interesting. See, this is a very old dialect of the Elvish language, one that I have scarcely encountered, and while I can't exactly translate it, it discusses a form of martial art that relies on balance, key timing for a true strike, and all the other details of the martial arts stuff. Now, the thing that really interests me is that this is an Elvish script, but it's talking about unarmed martial combat, which is, I find, very curious as an elf.
At this
myself.
moment is when I would like to walk in.
Cool. How do you walk in? What happens?
very loudly.
Very loudly.
Let's go.
So do you like bust through the front door or?
Describe the doors.
So the doors, they're actually kind of solid oak doors, double doors that kind of swing through, but they're full doors.
Okay, so they're like saloon doors but full.
Akin, yes,
Okay.
akin to that. But
So I
they've got
will
some heft to
not
them.
super forcefully, but forcefully enough to push them open.
Do they go back to their stops?
Yeah.
Okay, so they strike the stops and there's the sound of wood striking wood.
Right.
And
So I walk in.
would you say the floor creaks beneath you?
Getting kicked.
Yeah, a
Okay.
little bit. I'm carrying. I'm walking with a walking stick,
Okay,
and it looks like a walking stick next to me.
cool.
It does not look like a weapon of any kind.
Okay,
Um,
so go ahead and describe the image that.
this might be the tallest person you've ever seen, any of you.
Great oaks.
Yeah, this is a very tall and broad-shouldered man walks in. You can't really get a good look at his face or most of his features because they're covered like I am. You can see that his skin, the little bit that shows, is gray, almost like stone or ash. And he's dressed in similar colors. And after that, he walks up to the bar. One ale, please.
Okay. Well, good morning to you too, sir. One ale is, and he's just totally unfazed by the fact that there's this mountain of a man just standing in front of him, asking for an ale. He comes over with an ale and he brings it to you, and this is a bit of a caricaturization, but it's almost as though when you pick it up, it's like the size of a teacup. It's not that crazy, but
Right.
just with the presence that you carry as you entered, like almost like you own the place, it's almost like that.
Alright.
I had a friend once who met Jason Momoa, and he says that this dude was like only like 3 inches shorter than Jason Momoa, but he felt absolutely dwarfed by this man just because of the presence he carried. That is very much a similar situation as this.
I will take the ale. Thank you. And I'll sit down.
Much
And,
welcome.
the stool will creak a little, but I'll sit down on the stool and I'll just sit at the bar.
Okay. Just roll a flat d20 for me real quick.
Can I get you to hold it? Thank you.
While he's doing this, I want to lean over to the other two and like, well, this is a day for interesting folks.
Just a flat d20?
Flat d20.
I got a 6.
Oh no.
So the stool really creaks and the wood actually begins to start popping underneath you. Roll dexterity.
Oh no.
Dexterity save.
Okay.
While he's doing that.
So embarrassing.
I would have to agree. I've never seen such a variety of people in one place. It's quite intriguing, honestly.
At this point, I'm just gonna yell at the kid that I took to the side, slap him upside the head, and be like, "Stupid boy!" and then go back to my seat.
I'll take this. Thank you.
But you didn't place your order!
I got a 9.
A 9. Okay, so you're able to just barely, like, as you feel the stool starting to give way, you're able to like stand back up quickly
And it cracks under me.
no, it doesn't actually.
Okay.
You stand back up just in time.
Okay.
Almost as though you maybe have a little bit of experience with this. Any like when you're sitting on thin wooden stools
Right.
that aren't necessarily designed to hold a mountain.
In that case, I will turn around and lean against the bar.
Okay,
Enjoy,
there we go.
And enjoy my ale.
That's a much more solid piece of wood that you can.
Just don't lean against it too hard.
Right.
He's not pushing it. He's just leaning against it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'll try and put most of the weight in my feet.
Cool. So, Liz, did you ever order any food from this poor kid, or is he just going away
No.
with a gift slap on the
Chastised.
back of his head, only bringing back what 4 plates for 2 people?
If he brings just them food, I'm gonna slap him on that again.
Well, he brings just them food because you didn't place an order. And ma'am, this is McAnally's. I don't know what you're talking about. So eventually, like, regardless of whether or not you sit back down, he eventually comes back with 4 plates, sets 3 of them down in front of you and 1 down in front of you, Eritrea. And he turns to you and shrinks back a little bit and says, "Are you sure you don't need anything? Is just the ale all right? Don't hit me, please."
What she's having?
Right away, another steak and eggs. And he hurries back to the back.
Do I notice this happening?
I think you notice the kid make a little bit of a scene about getting Gibbs smacked.
Okay.
So you see an elven woman in heavy armor just
At this point,
backhand this child in the back of the head.
At this point, I would like to walk over to these 4.
Yeah, because you do eventually see the giant blue lizard.
Yeah, I see a group of people, at least 2.5 of which at least look like they don't belong here.
And
Yep.
I'm gonna pull up the sturdiest looking bench I can find.
So
to
the
take.
benches are actually pretty sturdy, because they're designed to hold multiple people's weight.
I
I
imagine.
said
you
what I
just-
said.
I imagine you just go to like the other side of the room and just like, like drag it over.
Very nice.
All right.
So I guess as you're approaching, he's already pulling the bench for you.
Would you like to join us, friend?
Thank you.
Okay. So you're all seated.
You all.
The floor is yours to discuss. The kid eventually brings some food, and he asks, "Oh, another person. Would you like anything to eat, sir?"
Another ale, please.
Another ale.
Drink.
Day drinkers, I see. Right, goes back to the back.
You all don't look like you're from around here.
Why? I'm from just outside of the walls here.
I'll take a closer look. Most of you don't look like you're from around here.
I'm curious as to why you chose to sit down here at our table.
I find it's easier to blend in when nobody blends in.
Oh my goodness, that is so deep. Sir. I should know your name. Mine is Nimbus.
You may call me Gia.
Gia. Ooh.
I see we have more company, pointy-eared friend.
Yes, Winifred.
At this point, too,
I don't know, y'all.
at this point, too, I'll just say if any of you looks keenly at me, it's going to look like I have something like war paint under my eyes.
Okay.
Okay.
And then I'm just realizing that we haven't formally met either.
No, we haven't.
Well, tell me your name.
Winifred Dillard.
Winifred.
Nice to meet you.
Sora, nice to meet you.
As her hand just clearly dwarfs yours.
Yeah. Right.
Big chunky hand.
I
Your hand
have-
is no slouch because it's got some muscle just from working fields and stuff, but just the size difference.
I accidentally hurt you a little bit.
Wow. I have never seen anyone with your specific type of skin deformity before.
I just kind of look at her and just...
It is a very unique
What is-
sheen, isn't it, Winifred?
Yes.
It's rather
I'm just
lovely. Wouldn't you
deserving.
say?
At this
I'm gonna
point.
have some lotion in my pack for you.
So we have Nimbus, Sora, Winifred,
Eritrea.
Eritrea.
Eritrea, how do you spell that?
Uh,
Oh no, I'm getting hick accent too.
It's a contagious accent. Don't worry, I'm gonna pick it up at some point.
I'm curious as to why spelling might be important, but Eretria.
Ma'am, don't tell him how to spell it. That's how the witches get you.
Oh, if the witches could get me, it'd have been a long time ago.
I intentionally just burst out laughing because I am so uncomfortable right now.
Just,
And-
for those who seem
There's-
slightly unhinged at my commentary.
Yeah.
Not actual witches, but more of a fey persuasion, a whimsical sort. I have been around, and they can be gruesome at times.
Oh, that
You don't say.
that is a story that needs to be told at some point. I'm trying so hard not to talk.
Would it help if I started talking in her accent?
No.
The adaptive accent is
How
a
about
real
this?
thing.
If I just go into a deep Scottish and just mix it up.
Every time I visit Oklahoma, I'm lost. I love it, but it just comes out.
So what bring the three of you are from out of town? What brings the three of you here?
Quite honestly, I had finished a quest and was given guidance to head towards city center. And not given any really particular reasoning to why, but I'd say the sources have their reasons for sharing.
Whimsical, you might say.
Whimsy. That it may be.
Well, Mr. Gia, I'm a man, a elf to be more precise, who likes to travel around, and eventually I settle down and live my life until that life ends and I travel to the next town. But I'm in between lives at the time and looking for a proper region to settle down into. And in the meantime, I like to form relationships, make deals, and meet interesting folks like this interesting table, I should say.
Travel is something I'm familiar with. Settling is not.
And you might have noticed Winifred like kind of wrinkle her nose in disgust when you said that you were an elf. Just
Fake! Fully!
That's funny.
Alright.
Rita.
Yeah.
Well, I won't divulge too much, but I was a retired fighter, and I didn't know what to do with myself. So I left my family, packed everything that I had, and sought out for a new life, a new me, because I just don't resonate with fighting anymore.
So you were a pacifist.
Well, I was more of an aggressive pacifist.
Well, you certainly picked the right scroll for aggressive pacifism, and I gently roll it up and hand it back to her.
here you go.
I certainly hope you find what you're looking for. You may want to inquire with somebody of a more ancient elvish
So,
heritage.
for the record, you can read it. It's just gonna take some time.
I would be happy to take I would be happy to recant my previous statement. I would be happy to take a more in-depth look at it sometime when ales aren't in spilling range.
And you just live here?
Yeah, I live right out back, really. Just right across Turner's Lake. And back out towards turn left at Clocker's Field. Right there.
Anything noteworthy ever happened here?
There's a few dramas going around. Like back when Cousin Eddie just flipped over a whole cart from a traveling salesman. Personally, I think that Cousin Eddie was trying to steal, but nobody can prove it.
Hear a voice pipe up from inside the bar. No, I wasn't.
Shut up, Cousin Eddie!
Anything significant?
Significant?
So actually, when you say that, there are people who are coming in through the bar and into the doors of the tavern, and actually a town crier who, if any of y'all have been paying attention, you've been hearing like this droning of a voice outside, but you can't really hear it over the sound of the tavern and through the walls that are actually kind of decently thick. He comes inside and kind of repeats his spiel. Hear ye, in the town of Farborough, weather is fair, sunny skies, lightly cloudy. It is young Araline's birthday today. She's turning 5 years.
Wow, 5 years
She
already!
has three older brothers, youngest sister, and a mother and father who love her very much. Wish her a happy birthday, if you will. Let us see here. Ah, yes, the Merchants Guild. They recently acquired a unique artifact, and there are. I smudged that because I was sweaty. There are some scholars. Yes, scholars. That's what I wrote. From the town of Taelos who are coming to appraise the artifact and see what it is worth. Some say that this is related to old ancient folklore. Some say that it is a recreation designed to harken back to the old times. None may know until the scholars and appraisers arrive in 2 days' time. That is all, folks. I will see you all tomorrow, and he walks out the bar.
Wow, that right there, that's the biggest news we've had since the catastrophe of 82.
The birthday, or something else.
The birthday, really.
The
but
birthday was
the
really
other
nice.
the other thing
I'm going
was
to
was
involuntarily snicker.
Now, at this point, my leg is hopping a little bit because I heard artifact and I was like, ooh.
I do also want to, real quick, just in case it's not clear, like when I say like I look like this, I mean like a wide hood and colors that very clearly are not of someone who lives in farmland.
Okay.
And at this point, well, at some point, I kind of turn to you and I'm like, why, dearie? I'm sorry to say, but you look like my pa when he's been out in the sun for way too long. Goodness, sir. I offered some lotion if you need some.
I do another big hearty laugh, and then I walk over to the town crier to start chatting him up in the
He's
back.
already gone. He was like in, said his thing, and out.
So you
Yeah.
run out.
He's got a timetable to keep up.
I go,
She says that, and I look at my skin. No one has ever said that to me.
Well, maybe more people should.
Who? Oh,
Thank you. I'm fine.
That's good to know. Just as long as you're not in pain.
No.
All right, Sonny. It's good to know.
now, Winifred, I'm very interested in this artifact business. The birthday alone got me excited.
Birthday, 5 years old already.
I know, and everyone gets their birthday announced here. This is a special town.
Not every town does that. I immediately lost the accent.
I know. Why don't they? But anyway,
children.
now, this artifact sounds like something very interesting. While I am a more plain tradesman in the day, I'm a sucker for quality artifacts.
Ah.
Where are they going to take this shiny piece?
Well, he said it was in the Merchants Guild, in their office in town.
But do I know the way to the Merchants Guild?
You could find a way.
Find a way.
You've been around long enough. You
Yeah.
might not remember specifically where it is, but you would be able to walk the streets long enough to remember the
You're
details.
like life. You find a way.
That's right.
Nice.
Oh, dearie, I know right where the guild is. I can take you right to it.
Would you? I would appreciate that so much.
Sure thing. Anything for a fellow
Is that-
pointy-eared fella.
Well, thank you.
Is the artifact the same? Is the Merchants Guild the same place where these scholars are?
That is where the scholars will be arriving in 2 days' time.
And then I asked to go with them because I come from a family of merchants and I want to see what this is about, if I can possibly make money with the things that I have in my bag.
Do you save the merchant bit stuff, or is that in your head?
I dabbled a little bit. I come from a family of merchants and I'm interested in seeing where you guys are going, if I can join.
Oh, that's very interesting. Where does your family normally trade?
Well, know me a little bit more and I'll let you know.
A mystery. I love mysteries too.
I only know one merchant. He comes by this town every year or so. So this is great, getting to meet another merchant.
Only once a year.
The merchant
Yeah,
your
the traveling merchant.
cousin flipped the card of.
Yeah, poor fella. Had to buy another one.
That means
Does he-
less competition.
Does he sell cabbages?
Cabbages, manure, bit of everything.
Very interesting.
Mostly cabbages. He was very, very upset about the cabbages.
Uh-huh.
I would be as well. Those do not grow where I come from.
Yeah, the man was a little weird. he kind of suggested that they were like his children. But it's fine. I'm sure he's all good in the head.
Now, Mr. Xia, may I ask, whereabouts do you come from?
Currently, the desert.
Interesting. I come from that direction myself.
Roll history.
What was the name of that town?
So the town you came from was Windriff. But how do you roll history?
Okay. I actually just came from a very interesting worm encounter in Windrift.
Windriff. No D.
Windrift?
Yes.
Oh, good. Okay. And I'm sorry, what was the check?
History.
History, I don't.
So if you don't have training, it's just flat intelligence.
Yeah, history's intelligence.
It is 11.
Okay. Now that you've been sitting with this mountain of a man in front of you, you vaguely remember that while you were traveling through Algayar, the kind of city that kind of shifts with the sands almost, you vaguely remembered as you exited that you saw out of the corner of your eye this very tall person wearing hood and cloak. And you now think that like, oh, I should have gone back, that seemed like an interesting person. But you were already on the road by the time you realized that that would be an interesting encounter.
Did I happen to... we may have traveled the same way. Did you come through the same path?
I could not say.
Fair enough.
My paths are many in life.
Probably could have told by the footprints he might have left.
Oh
He
my...
does have mighty footprints.
I'll snicker a little.
Well,
What if he left ahead of me?
That's a good
He did
point.
leave ahead, yes.
well, I'm sorry I didn't leave bigger imprints to follow me back.
That is quite all right. Your path and mine may not be the same.
Overwhelmed by the amount of deep conversation going on, I turn to the subject of hobbies, and remembering what I last heard, I try to strike up a conversation about the martial arts, and I talked to Sora. I looked at Sora and I say, Sora, now, and forgive me if this is beyond my realm yet, but can you tell me about these martial arts that you mentioned? This scroll has me very curious, and please feel free to stop me if I overstep.
Well, a lot of you are very forward, but I'm the one who showed you the scroll, so I guess I don't mind. So,
Interesting.
and I turn to you exactly like this, very dramatic, and I'm very big, so
Are we walking right now?
We're at a table.
Right,
Yeah.
table.
we haven't left
No
yet.
one's moved yet, which is
Okay.
Yes.
odd because you were really interested in
Eating
that artifact.
breakfast.
I'm waiting on her, but I'm shouting at people.
Okay.
So whenever I first left my family, I had to make money. So how I did that was I went to this underground fighting ring that I found out about from this man when I was leaving my hometown. I met him on the trail there, and I stopped at a little inn, and he told me about this way to make money. And at first I was like, who would willingly get hurt like that? But I needed food, I needed to eat, I needed some shelter, some more, because I could only afford one more night.
Mhm.
He took me to this place. It was very strange. Everybody there was very small compared to me. So I made money very quickly. And I didn't have any formal training. I just kind of started moving my body
Mhm.
and just kind of flailed around a little bit.
Bless your heart.
Strength is such a blessing.
And then one of the spectators, he saw me, he noticed my untapped potential,
Mhm.
and every other show he would come sit in the dark corner, and he came up to me after one fight and he said, I'm gonna take you under my wing. Which I thought was very odd because I'd never met this man before and he was just watching me and it's kind of creepy.
Did he have wings?
He didn't have any wings, no. That's a very good question.
It's very.
Anyways, I said too much while saying little at all, so.
Well, curiouser and curiouser.
You said you know the way to the market.
I do. I like shove all the rest of my breakfast in my mouth and just start going.
I'll so you stand up to leave? Okay. Yeah, she stands up to leave. I will stand up and hold my tankard. I'll be taking this.
Okay, you're taking that.
I toss,
Have a good day.
I toss a coin to the barkeep. I'm just say hi to your mom for me.
What coin do you toss? Is it a copper or a silver?
Silver.
Okay, a silver. Mark that down. One less silver.
Yeah.
And everyone go ahead and mark off 1 silver from your equipment just for the cost of breakfast. That is not...
2 ales cost a silver.
Okay. I'm BSing that real hard. So I'm just gonna look at the table for how much that costs. Because I don't know how much it costs, okay?
Maybe it's
Why'd you have to call my bluff like that?
Now,
It's national television.
Now, didn't we prepay for breakfast when we paid for the inn?
No, you just paid for the inn. That was all of your free pre-game gold you had.
Because this better be the best ale I've ever had if it's a silver.
It's friggin' good.
They said it was a continental breakfast.
I don't know what that is. Sir, this is McAnally's.
It's this thing we're on.
Very nice. Where the heck are these tables? They're always so hard to find in this book. Wait, there's this thing called a table of contents.
They even have tables for contents. Oh yes, I'm poor.
Index?
Yeah.
Oh no.
That's like real life.
To start wheeling and dealing.
This is supposed to be fantasy.
Yeah.
Is this the real life? No. It's
So,
just
so a mug of ale is 4 copper pieces. So I would think it's reasonable to round up to
1 silver. Okay.
To 1 silver for the 2 ales.
Sure. That's fine.
Let's see.
Were you comping me or were you paying for yours?
I was paying for my breakfast.
And yeah, a breakfast meal for of modest quality would be 1 silver piece for a meal. I'm gonna have to bookmark this page.
On the way there.
So,
okay.
y'all exited the tavern at this point?
She has, and I'm behind her.
Okay.
At this point, I'm gonna stand up and down my beer and announce the table. Well, my curiosity is getting the better of me. I think I'm going to follow.
I just love meeting new connections.
Sora, you're following as well?
Oh, yeah. I came
Cool.
right behind you as well. Yeah.
So, as you exit,
Winifred.
Winifred. I almost called you Windrift, but that's the town that he came from, not your name.
Winifred.
Because you know roughly the region of town that the Merchants Guild is in, you actually take them out, a different door than you came in. And as you exit this door onto a different thoroughfare of road, you enter the road and see this grand statue in front of you. And this is the statue you all saw in your dreams, with a human in adorned in plate armor, holding a sword aloft heroically, an elf brandishing a staff that seems as though it's magical in some way, a satyr with a bow drawn in a very unorthodox way, kind of hand out with a really long draw, and a dwarf kind of with hammer head face down, kind of kneeling over, almost praying like you'd imagine a crusader would. Kind of with the hammer rested on top of a chipped rock. And so you see this just massive monument to 4 adventurers that you all seem to recognize, at least 3 of, and you recognize the statue from your dream. Is anyone stopping and pausing at this
I'd like to pause for a moment and very intentionally so the others can hear. I say, well, that's very strange. That's very strange indeed. Winifred. He's got the pointy ears, deformity like us.
She, actually. So it's a human male, an elf, a female elf. Not quite sure about the satyr because none of you know satyrs. However, you would probably recognize her to be female, and then the dwarf's a dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll also pause when I see this.
Yeah, that's actually one of the reasons why I became proud of my ear. Just because of this statue. I named him Bob. I don't know his real name, but that's what I call him.
It's a beautiful
Bob's
name.
a girl?
Bob, it's a beautiful name for a woman.
I forgot immediately that you said it was a girl.
Wait, Bob?
Different Bob. Different Bob.
What about Bob?
Anyway.
Funny story, I don't often have dreams about coming here, but I had a dream about this specific statue. It's probably just because I see it all the time, so it's just not that big of a thing.
Describe your dream.
Describe my dream? What do you have interest in my dreams for?
No reason.
Oh, okay. Well, it started out with my cat trying to go after my dog, which was real weird. But then this like crazy stuff happened, and I don't remember anything that you told us.
Basically, you were you were seeing through eyes that were not your own, and you were seeing this epic grand battle in what seemed to be underground catacombs. Someone died, you eventually died, and your vision kind of went third party. You watched some dudes kill a dude who was on fire, and then like this whole like Indiana Jones map sequence as they go around scattering items. And then the statue,
I watched
and years go by.
these whole crazy guys being alive and not a statue, and they were like lighting somebody on fire, stabbing people. Boy, it was crazier than Christmas on Cactus Day.
Was it 3 foes they were fighting?
Yeah, it was three of them. One of them was real creepy.
Not only do we have the same ears, we seem to have the same dreams.
Are we best friends right now?
We just become best friends.
I think we are.
I find myself oddly unnerved. I too had a similar dream, although I don't remember an ominous creature of sorts, but maybe if you're talking about the foe.
Yes, the it's on a creepy horse.
Oh. I don't believe I remember seeing that. I remember a dwarfish character, doesn't it?
And
Some-
an elf,
Yeah.
and
One of those
Was there a
furry
shorter
creatures.
one?
Shorter one, human variety. Nature.
a dwarf.
Human.
A dwarf.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
the furry one. And then the satyr too.
And they had the most intriguing telescoping spear I wanted. But that's beside the point.
Let's do
I'm too stunned to speak at this moment.
How long have you had this dream?
Well, a couple months ago I had a dream about the same statue, but in that dream, it came to life and tried to eat me, so it wasn't quite the same.
Let me ask a different question. When did you have this dream?
Well, just last night.
Me too.
Me too.
I'm gonna just be shocked. I'm not gonna respond to this. I'm just gonna be shocked.
Okay.
Wait.
You said you.
Use your pointy ear powers. What am I thinking right now?
You're thinking beans.
I wasn't, but I should have been.
You don't know the names of these people,
No, but I call that one Millie. I call that one Bob.
right?
And then I call the furry one George. And then the human one, like me, I call him cousin, because I just think it's funny that I could be his cousin some back when.
Human like you.
Yeah, even like me.
Winifred, I recall you mentioning a historic battle of some kind while we were sitting at breakfast.
Yes, about my dream.
A monument such as something about some kind of calamity.
Oh yes.
What?
That was back in '82.
Well, any other information about that?
Any other information about the '82? Well, you probably get more information from my granny, but she's dead, so I'll do the best I can. So what happened was
What happened was
Carpenter's dog out back got loose and ate all of the chickens.
At this point, I'm just covering my mouth.
I try to mount her.
I'm just gonna just listen with very little intention to this story.
Something about a dog, something about chickens dying. Details, and then she finally takes a breath in and she's like, okay, I'm done now.
You all had
That was the catastrophe.
you all had the same dream last night.
I dreamed a dream of time gone by.
I'm going by. I feel like that's a song I heard in a tavern once.
That's a song I heard
That's a
in a dream
stupid
once.
song. It would be a stupid song, wouldn't it?
I'm floored. I cannot understand. What forces could force all 5 of us to have such a dream?
Did any of y'all eat just a bunch of pickles before you went to sleep?
Even if you had, it would not matter. The past week, I have had a dream that is built on itself. Every night the same, every night a little extra. It is always this dream. I was told that my wind blows east, and I was told to come this way.
Wind blows east.
Guided by
I
this
wanna get
dream.
that checked out.
I think it'll be fine.
It's okay as long as he doesn't break it.
Go ahead, everyone, roll perception.
Everyone?
Everyone. Everybody.
Everybody.
It wouldn't just be passive perception?
Yeah.
It wouldn't just be passive perception?
Just roll it.
Okay.
Rip.
I felt that on my face.
That is a 16.
22.
22.
21.
21.
18.
Hold on.
18.
Where'd you go, character sheet?
Ah,
Perception, you said?
perception.
I also got a 22.
Wow.
Nice.
Spicy rolls from y'all.
I love
So,
Gotta be
At this
something.
conversation,
I don't know,
everyone's
somebody
kind of-
bad.
racking their brains thinking about the dream and just how weird it is that everyone's seemed to have the same dream. And if you kind of look at the statue again, you kind of look at the whole scene and you notice the shadow and something about where the shadow is sitting and just the angle of the sun hitting the statue, hitting the ground, feels like it was in the dream.
That's
And at that realization, for those of you, whether you're thinking quickly or slowly, kind of you all roughly dawn on that around the same time, and mere moments later, before anyone has the chance to speak about it, you hear the loud crack of a whinnying horse off just outside the walls of the city, just as you had in your dream right when you had woken up.
Well, that's a big bear deja vu.
And at this point, you hear and you feel the ground begin to shake in rhythmic as there is coming up. If you look out towards the gate, because you can look out around the tavern where you recognize the gate would have been, because this is on kind of a corner. You got the main thoroughfare, and you're currently on this perpendicular road. You look out past the tavern, you see this horse that is black as night, riding with rider
That's the horse.
with rider clad in armor that shines and glints, but at the same time seems to consume every ounce of light that hits it. It's just this black void where armor should be.
I'd like
Riding at breakneck speed. And behind him, and the dust cloud that's kicked up, you almost hear shouting, struggling. As the horse and rider are getting closer and the dust cloud draws nearer and the accompanying sounds get louder, it's definitely shouting, but it's coming closer, like with the horse as well.
Do we recognize the language?
Just it's common. It's commonly spoke shouts. Just at this point, there's too much. There's not enough precision in what you're hearing. You just recognize almost like a stadium, right? There's too much ambient sound around to pick up that speech at a distance.
When we see the black figure, do we feel a threat, or
Yes.
okay?
This is eerie, unearthly, and
I'd like to say, I'll be right back. Just very seriously, very quietly, and then with my hand on my weapons, I'd like to edge toward the side of the street, slowly towards the approaching.
okay. So you would like to cheat up towards that main thoroughfare.
Yeah.
I'd like to position myself behind the lizard lady.
I'd my
Very
dance.
wise. Very wise.
You have to like get down.
Not directly.
Oh, okay.
A few paces. Let's say 15 feet behind the lizard lady.
Okay.
That's where I'd like to be.
I am just going to run straight in front of where this thing is going.
Okay.
Yeah,
Like in the middle of the road
yeah.
and just stop.
Is it coming down our
Yes.
road or the main road?
It's coming down the main road. So it hasn't entered the town yet, but you see it coming through the town, and it's moving at a really friggin' good pace. Like, you just heard it moments ago, and now it's like approaching the gate, and it's about to come through. And you notice the guard is scrambling, like, we don't know what this is, but we don't like how it smells. So they're all like scrambling out from their guard posts and approaching that main thoroughfare.
Can we smell it?
Huh?
Can we smell it?
I think it means figurative smell.
It smells fishy.
All right.
I'm going to back behind her as well, but to the side of both of them and pull my bow and knock an arrow
Cool.
in passive
So
stance.
you're all just readied.
Yep.
And the horse runs in through, and it looks like it's almost gonna go straight through. So starts with the W, Winifred.
You just say
You're
winning.
standing there in the middle of the road, playing a game of
What the
chicken
horse does.
with this massive looking warhorse that
Uh-huh.
as it gets closer, it smells dead.
Okay.
And it's got just where its cheeks would be, there's just sinews of shadow running, almost as though the flesh is rotted away. But there is no flesh because it's just this solid shadow.
Can I
Go ahead and roll.
Can I do a perception check on like Fey energy?
I'm gonna have to think on that one for a second. Go ahead and roll, Elizabeth. Sorry, Liz. Roll.
Confused.
What to do? Actually, roll flat Constitution.
Okay.
This will be like for your strength of your guts to like
Ooh.
see this out and play a game of chicken.
So 19.
And 19. Cool. The rider barrels through, doesn't stop, doesn't turn. Go ahead and make a dexterity save.
Yeah.
Roll the natural 20 on the game of chicken.
Goodness.
Can I?
I did have my my mace out to try to swing at him as he ran by.
Okay.
By the way, that was my
Cool.
plan.
So are you gonna stand there? Okay. So here's the thing. Are you going to allow yourself to get trampled, or are you going to
No,
step out of the way at the
My
last minute?
plan was to sidestep and swing the rider
Okay.
off the horse.
So go ahead and make a dexterity save.
Okay.
'Cause he's coming real fast, and you're like, okay, shoot, he's coming faster than I thought.
Can I
Dexterity
ready an action?
saves, that is a 21.
21, you're fine.
What did you say?
Yes,
I
you
said
may.
those dice are
Yeah.
over so
I-
We got the most for a roll.
Seeing
Oh.
the stuff going on, if the guy decides to keep coming, I'd like to take a slash at the front, the horse's front leg, to
Okay.
try to stop it.
Okay.
Basically,
Gotcha. So you're able to step back and away, kind of like step aside, and go ahead and make an attack opportunity as you kind of whirl around and try and catch the horses that's riding through.
Ooh.
And for you, Elizabeth, go ahead and roll.
So that's a 20.
Your choice of either Arcana, Nature, or Insight
what is that?
Who is this?
for Elizabeth.
Was that
I'll roll
crit or
insight.
total?
Could I also get it on this?
Like, are you trying to discern like if it's Fey or what?
Not
what are
if
you
it,
gonna
not
try
if,
to
not if
determine?
it's Fey, just its nature in
9.
general.
Okay, a 9.
Nature, Arcana, or what?
This was for her.
For
She was doing something while you were doing your
Oh,
thing.
okay.
Yeah.
So I'm juggling things here. You, Elizabeth. It's hard to tell, but if it was Fey, you think it bears resemblance to something of the Winter Court, but something. It doesn't quite reconcile your mind and your memory as though that would be the case. So you're not sure.
So if you said that as it was getting closer to her, it
Uh-huh.
smelled dead.
It smells dead.
Okay, I would like to perceive whether or not it is more infernal or necrotic in nature.
Okay. Roll your choice of insight or arcana.
Okay, I'll roll insight.
If
Okay.
I'm, this might be obvious, but in the preparation to attack, I'd like my weapons to be drawn.
Okay. That's understood.
Yikes! I got an 8.
8. Ouch. You know that sometimes the line between infernal versus undead can be kind
Why?
of blurred.
Why? What's that? I just rolled a 20.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Bro.
Man.
But
That's
no,
rough.
so on that 8, you know
Yes,
that
on my
sometimes
8.
that line between infernal and undead is kind of vague at times.
Mm-hmm.
You can't quite tell.
Okay.
But you know that something's not quite right about that.
So, but it's definitely one of the two.
You would think that's. You would think so.
Okay.
Liz,
So I hit him.
you hit him with what? A 20 to hit?
It was. Yeah, it was a
16
20.
plus. Yeah.
16 plus. Yeah, so the 20 hits.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll damage for your mace
Woo.
as you're swinging it as it runs by.
Do I get to attack as well, since it's on her?
So she's out in the middle of the road, in the main road, and you're kind of on this side road coming out by where the
Well,
statue is.
I meant like.
Or would you have stepped out into that main road as well?
He meant he wanted to creep up like beside a building.
on the side of the road.
Yeah.
Like not walking down the center. Like. So
Oh, okay.
yeah.
So you're adjacent to the main thoroughfare.
I'm on. I would have like. Yeah. So she ran out into the middle of the street. So I would have been, yeah, basically on the cusp of the street.
Kind of at the corner.
Yeah. Basically in striking distance, but not
Okay. Well,
revealing myself outright.
okay. Gotcha.
I got a 5 to
you got a 5?
bludgeoning damage.
5 bludgeoning damage. Okay. You step aside and turn into it, and it strikes true, but it almost feels as though as you're striking into an object that's moving away from you, it's like almost like some of the force of the blow is kind of sapped from it. But you did strike true, and you caught physical material when you struck.
Okay. Does it knock him from the horse?
He is not deterred. As it passes through you, it literally turns on a dime, stops, skids, hits that other side road, running past all of y'all. Madison, you can go ahead and make an attack opportunity if you so choose.
Okay. I'm gonna attack with my rapier.
Okay.
Oh baby. Okay, so this is Dex, right?
And this will be Dex.
Okay, and it's just the Dex modifier.
So to hit, it's Dexterity plus
Plus
proficiency.
proficiency.
Damage is just bonus Dex.
Okay, then 23.
23 to hit. That hits. Roll damage. It's going to be a D8 plus dexterity piercing damage.
Since she's close by,
No, he's aware of your presence. You're not quite flanking, and you're not hidden from him.
okay, and that's required.
Yeah, you don't have advantage on this attack in any way,
Okay, because
and
she's
there's
not.
no
she's
ally
not
within 5
5 away.
feet, and you're not hidden, which would give you advantage.
Okay, she's not
Yeah.
5 feet away.
No, because as you kind of turned around, by the time you're getting the attack, you're kind of like the only one next to him at that point because he's hitting that corner.
Okay.
So you're not like, you didn't get the chance to like sandwich him. He's just, you hit him through the curve.
All right. So D8 plus. Sorry, what was the
D8 plus dexterity.
plus dexterity? You are gorgeous. Yes, you are. That's 9.
9 points of damage. Okay. So as you kind of track him around, you don't quite hit him quite when you're looking to, but you take your time to make sure your strike is true, and you.
Oh, I was
wait
aiming
just-
for the horse.
Okay, well still, because it's a fast-moving object.
Okay.
You wait that half a moment, like that half beat longer, just to really get your target. You lunge out as he's coming around the curve, maybe with the idea of like letting it pull away to like deal like additional damage as it like pulls and rends as it's turning and trying to pull away from you. And you pierce in, but it almost like there's an uncannily low amount of resistance with the strike. Almost as like, and you strike deep into its hindquarters. It's a deep, clean strike, and it strikes true. But it feels as though there's little to no purchase on it, and it just pulls out with. It kind of glides out as the rapier, the piercing weapon, is pulled away from this speeding horse, like a bat out of hell.
Okay. Oh, it's like jelly.
Yes, that's a great description. I think that was all the held actions.
If possible, if still within range, I'd like to.
I would say that your action for this moment in time was
the
discerning its
Okay.
nature.
Origin. Gotcha.
I can't bonus action, can I?
No, this is a reaction.
Okay.
Or, well, technically this is a held action that you took.
So you can't bonus action on a store.
No. Because it's...
You can't
So how
store,
it works
you can't
is...
store both, can you?
No, you can only store one.
Okay, just making
Yeah,
sure.
and because it's not taking place on your turn, you can't add on the bonus action.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Sora, is there anything you would specifically like to do?
Where was I in reference to it when it passed by? Like, did I have any opportunity?
You could have. You could have stepped... If you so chose, you could have stepped into a position where you could have struck out at it. But you would have had to make a conscious decision. I will allow you to do that if you so choose. Otherwise, it could have just run right past you.
Yes, I'm gonna take my hand axe and I'm going to. It's going really fast, but I'm really fast as well.
Okay.
So I'm going to kind of position to myself to where I'm able to hit it from the side.
Okay. Go ahead
With
and
my legs.
make an attack roll.
Okay, dexterity. 9.
9. Cool. So you're like, yeah, he's fast, but I'm fast as frick, boy. And you wind up like batter stance and like you get ready, and you swing. There's nothing. You misjudged the distance to where he was gonna be running, so you swung fast and like you followed him and you were good, but there just wasn't enough reach on it. You choked up a little too much on the hand axe, and you're like, I know better than that. And this horse runs straight through, around this statue, and runs down a main thoroughfare, takes a right, runs down further, and you hear it clopping and glomping through the town as screams of terror erupt from the streets as passersby are nearly trampled as this large, shadowy, dead-looking horse with a rider with armor that looks like a void is rolling through town at a great pace. As the heavy hoofbeats subside from your hearing, you hear not really shuffling, but from the direction of the gates, there's almost the sound of a stampede, but not really. None of you really have experienced a stampede. Maybe you have, if you had any experience with a particular hunt, but it's just the sound of a lot of heavy footfalls striking the ground, and for the more keen of you, you hear kind of the town's guardmen shouting, "Hold your ground! They shall not breach!" You hear a great crash, and is anyone... so I know Elizabeth's already there, and Madison can probably see it.
Liz.
Does anyone else move so that they can see through the main thoroughfare to see this before I describe it and narrate it?
I mean, we're all on the main street, aren't we?
So from what I understood, Madison and Liz were kind of on that main thoroughfare through town, and then the rest of you were on that side road that the rider turned onto,
And you
Okay.
kind of where that statue is.
So, okay.
I would
So
have.
you're at the corner, but some of you are unable to see around the corner.
Okay.
I would have probably ran after him, to be honest. I'm not very fast.
You
but
get all of like 30 feet, and he's already like 100 feet away from you.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you get another 30 feet, and he's 300 feet away from you. He's
Yeah.
just, he's already
I'll,
taken 2 corners at that point.
I'll move. Because Sora tried to attack
Mhm.
as well. Are you on the main street or are you on the side street?
Where am I?
I assumed that you were on the side street, kind of where y'all exited the tavern, and you were able to strike him as he came around and was fixing to pass the statue.
Okay, so I'm able to see around the corner.
No, you would have to step to the edge of the tavern, where the tavern corner is, to look around and see the main gate, where you're hearing scuffling and shouting and.
I will, run out into the main street and back.
So just out and back, just to kind of get a quick glance and get back into cover.
Not back in the main, not back into the side street. Like, I'll run out into the main street and then take a couple steps
Like deeper into town.
deeper. Into
Okay,
town,
cool.
so that way I
You
can.
can see. Are either of y'all going to be doing something similar, or are you just
So-
kind of holding your ground?
Whenever I initially moved, I had moved back into the side of them, so I would assume I'd have at least some line of
Yeah, you
sight.
can probably see like half of the gate, actually, because you're getting that angle on it. You can't see the whole
Yeah.
thing, but you're able to see some of it. Okay. So are you doing anything?
Yeah, I'm gonna move around just so I can get a little bit closer. I'll still be behind all these guys. But
Okay, so you're still
enough
definitely
to where I
second
can
rank,
see.
but you're
Yeah.
eking around like to peek around the corner. Okay. As you all like look around and reposition yourselves and catch your breath and get your wits about you, you see this very large force of just ramshackle kind of people in all different kinds of clothes with all different kinds of weapons, all with faces covered though. Almost similarly to those that you met on the road the other day, and bless you,
How dare you?
and similar to those dudes who rolled up into the fighting ring at the end of your time there. But these dudes just in just all different kinds of clothes, some torn, some clean, some dirty, some well maintained, with varying weapons: knives, daggers, swords, spears, shields, bows, just a wide array of weapons, just a very motley crew, a lot of them though. And they're kind of pressing up against the gate. The town's guard is just trying to hold the line, but eventually a number of them kind of eke through, and this is actually...
How far away is the gate?
I'd say it's about... say about 3/4 of a football field, so about 75 yards out.
Okay.
What's the wall like around the gate?
So it's a stone wall. It's about 15, 20 feet high. Really only about, you'd guess maybe a foot thick at the gate. And you're not sure about the rest of the wall, but it's a decent stone wall.
Are there any structures and/or houses around the gate?
Yeah, there's a bunch of buildings kind of lining the street as a few of these people kind of trickle past the defenses of these town's guard. They're holding back most of them, and they're doing a good job cutting down those who press up against to try and forcibly enter with less than noble intents assumed. But there are still a few that are able to slip past. Maybe someone gets a lucky strike in against a guard's helmet, they kind of ring their bell and they're able to slip past. And right now you've got about what looks like 6 or 8 people coming into the gates, running just straight down that road.
How many?
Towards us.
How
In
many?
y'all's direction, yes.
How big is this horde?
The horde itself is pretty large, but the town's guard is doing a pretty good job holding it. But there's just these few people who have snuck through while the guards were really kind of really getting themselves set to kind of do this kind of like riot police kind of stuff to hold the line and push them back.
So
They've
there's
got like spearmen out over top of the shield wall, kind of thrusting down, trying to grab people, but there are some who squeeze through. And there's about 8 who've squeezed through before they were really able to close up everything. And the portcullis, it's not coming down because there's really no one at the guards tower, but you see that they're trying to get that stuff figured out. There's a guard captain, they're discussing it all, but
So
right now you're about 75 yards away from the gate, and there are
there's 6 to 8 people running at us.
6 to 8 people running at you at a breakneck sprint.
Sora, now might be the time to decide whether you are a defender or a fighter.
well, obviously, I'm not just gonna sit here and watch this all. If you all will join.
I'm already running towards the.
I would.
Running into the fray. Leroy Jenkins!
I had already ran before after the horse guy.
Yeah.
That was the other one.
I've just literally
Was it the
pulled
other
back
one?
Yeah,
my
'cause he was running
bow,
into town.
trained eye, and I'm like,
Oh shoot.
I'm ready when y'all
This is
are.
town.
Cool.
Yeah, because they're at the edge of town.
I want to.
I'm running back then.
Does it seem like they're heading in a particular direction?
They're just surging into the town. They're just dead set on just going kind of straight. But
They're going.
wherever they're going to go past you guys.
Okay.
So there's
Whether they're going to take a left or go straight down or take another side road, that's to be determined. But they are going to run past y'all at some point.
Yeah.
Okay.
will there be people flooding the streets because there's a lot of commotion? So
Most of the commotion's deeper into town, where the Deathly Rider was just
Riding into.
riding into, just careening through. Careening, that's the word I was looking for. But the scream kind of subside as the rider kind of keeps going further. So it's like this wave of scream and terror as it rolls through town.
So as I catch back up to y'all, since I ran the opposite direction and now I'm running back, I kind
Doubled
of
over, breathing
yeah,
heavy.
just breathing heavy.
Wait a minute, hold up.
I kind of look up and I'm like, this is definitely worse than the catastrophe of '82.
And that's where combat will begin.
Oh boy. Hope you're all ready. Better intro later.
Nice. Cool. Okay. So now that we're back from our break, let's go ahead and position your miniatures. You will be within. So you see where that corner is here on that southwest corner, right here.
The square.
Yeah, basically the double line is in a corner. This interior one is the tavern. That out there is the road. They're coming down the road. Place yourself within, I'll say, 2 squares of that entire square. So
Of
2.
this?
No, sorry, of just that road intersection. Sorry.
Of this?
Yes.
2 squares of this? Okay.
Yes, 2 squares within that 4x4 space.
I'll try to be up front.
Within 2 squares of that?
Yes, so you can be either in the 4x4 space or 2 squares up to 2 squares outside of it. Okay.
That's
So you're just off the road, kind of hugging up against the
I was
building.
wondering.
Well, I was thinking more
on top of the building.
I don't think you can get up on top of the building with the time that you have while we
Then I was trying to
sprinting.
cheat. Okay.
Wow.
At least
You're not
Openly saying you're
supposed to,
cheating.
At least
Wow.
you should, you know.
Hey, I was told any square within 2.
Well,
Yeah.
yes,
just
but
following directions.
Okay, cool.
Asking all the questions.
So I'm gonna change the music because
you
that's
know
not
what?
good
Some
music.
fighting music.
We need some fighting music. Not fighting words, fighting music.
I'll be right next
We
to you.
pointy ears gotta stick together.
Fighting
Yeah.
words have already happened.
Yeah.
But one of you's not.
Fight!
I'll keep
Those
that
are
to
fighting
myself.
words.
I noticed something. I mean, you said it explicitly.
Dang it,
but
I cannot
Okay.
not do the hick accent when you're doing it.
It's hard. It's so hard because that accent is so contagious.
Yeah,
And-
that is.
And, like, I have a hick accent, it doesn't come out all the time.
The resistance is you to like switch over or even just go to normal voice when I'm speaking is like, don't do it.
That's
Don't
why.
be the third person.
Yeah, that's why I decided I wasn't gonna, try to do like a fancy voice or something like that. There's no way I could sustain that.
That's Bryce.
Yeah, that's kind of just like, well, there's not usually because I am like
I've seen
human
before,
in
but I don't
appearance
like
and like the only discernible thing really different is the markings and stuff. I was like,
Oh,
how do I make it
I mean, I'm
slightly more apparent that I'm not?
But he's a good friend.
Like everyone else.
Yeah.
Do you need to roll for initiative?
So, I'm going to actually call for that now. So go ahead and roll initiative. For those of you who don't know, because I may not have covered this in your one-on-ones, you roll a d20 and add your initiative modifier to this.
Woo! All right.
Spicy roll?
Not bad.
Nice. We'll take it.
I got a nat 1.
Of course you
I
did.
got it.
That's
Nine.
not a frontline initiative roll. That one.
Oh, wow.
Well, at
Okay.
least I'm not going last.
So let's work our way from the bottom up. Anything modifier included from 1 to 5.
You add
You're
your deck.
five.
You add your
You're
dex
four.
to initiative.
So it's you add your
You added
initiative
dex
modifier, which is your initiative modifier is equal to your dexterity
Oh,
modifier.
Yeah, you add
So
dex.
they
to your
are
initiative.
synonymous in this case. So you're a 5. Who else has between 0 and 5 on their initiative score? I
Between
thought I
0
saw you raise your hand with something.
Mine was 4.
Okay, you're a
between
4.
already
0
got
and 5.
Gotcha. No, I didn't actually.
Oh.
So
Yeah.
you two are between
Okay.
0 and 5.
Yes.
Because
So
you
you're a 5, you're a 4.
specifically said like, okay,
More
4.
comfortable. I
But then you said
Yeah.
yes.
Was like, what happened?
Mine, I did
Yeah,
the
really, if you
opposite
were
thing, so
interested
I
in
was-
watching,
I
and
had
if
to-
you were interested in
Okay.
watching,
reaction.
I would be more than happy to watch what the two of you.
That sounds amazing.
Okay,
Sounds
anyone from
exciting.
5 to 10 in your
Five.
initiative modifier?
Oh yeah, I got 9.
9. Okay.
I just want to be hit all at once.
Hmm.
I
Can't move.
You're just ready.
either all at once than multiple
Raise your
over one
vision.
period of time.
Okay. Anyone from 10 to 15?
11.
11. Okay.
Oh, fun.
I got a. What minute?
Alright,
You got an 11 as well?
I got a 19.
You got a 19. Well, I didn't
Yes,
ask for
with
that
your
yet,
fancy
did I?
numbers. I didn't know it went that high.
He's over here like, I got double digits that don't match.
Yeah.
And this is the guy in the back.
Yep. I'm ready.
So yeah,
Go first.
now it's 15 to 20.
I cast light jog.
Okay, so you said you were a
I
19.
got 19.
Has everyone already told me their initiative?
I got 19. Hold
Fred, Nurse Ray, Nimbus, Sora. Yeah. Okay. So now I've just got the rest of these numbers that are all upside down to reconcile.
It's not that bad.
Nope. The wall is an issue.
That's partly why I like this. So you can like bank off the walls. Not like that.
And I just gotta avoid saying things like, I'm saving all my good rolls for. Because
Yeah.
Only when you don't need it.
Yeah,
It's
That's the-
literally
that's the second or third 20 I've rolled when it doesn't matter.
Oh my gosh.
Neat. Cool. You're cool. Thanks,
19.
Lars.
I'm feeling skinny, Tony.
The movie's amazing.
What movie is that?
Heavyweights.
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
It's so
Yeah.
good. Ben Stiller runs a fat camp.
Are you,
Oh my gosh.
are you trying to
That right
cheat?
there.
It's so
Because a
good.
cheater is a destroyer.
Yeah.
That's the same guy who plays in Dodgeball.
Yes.
I have.
You're a Globo, Jim.
Yes,
Yeah, we're
I
better
have,
than you.
I have
If we
seen
know it.
trailers of this movie.
Heavyweights and Dodgeball, probably two of my top 10 comedies.
Mm-hmm.
They're great.
Derek has his ready face.
I do have my ready face. That is correct. All right. So at the top of the initiative order is this fancy dude here in the back with the cloak. He is cloak and a stick. He's got a big stick.
That would be that.
He's going to wave his hands in some arcane fashion, and I am going to require. Actually, I should have kept notes for that, but this is fine. I have the PHB, and I can look up this spell that he's casting
You have a what?
because it starts with a B, and that's going to be at the beginning of the spells.
Oh boy.
Bonsai.
Not quite. I have a feeling it's two different, one 4-letter word and one 5-letter word.
complicated.
For a country hick, it would be.
They're both cleric spells.
Oh.
Actually, I take that back. He's gonna move his full speed. Can someone move him 6 squares forward? Or actually,
Gotcha, that guy.
Oh.
yes, that dude.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Cool. He's 6 squares forward, so he can reach at this point. Okay, cool. So he's gonna cast Bane as he, with his knife, he's gonna cut into his left palm, rub his hands together, and make these sigils in the air. And you two in the front line, Winifred and Nimbus, go ahead and make charisma saving throws.
Is it blood?
And Madison, if I can actually have you stay roughly-ish in your seats, we need the camera angle. Yeah,
Oh, sorry.
you're good.
You said charisma?
Charisma saving throw, yes.
I know. Why?
Just a 9.
Just a 9. That's unfortunate.
Mine is double unfortunate then. Oh.
What does double unfortunate mean?
Yeah, I was like, wait a second.
How bad is
Oh,
double
shit.
unfortunate?
Gosh, can I do math? 6.
6, okay. So it's sextuple unfortunate. Okay, so both of you succumb to the effects of the Bane spell. So I do not have my status effect markers with me, but that's fine. Just mark somewhere on your sheet. Keep in mind that you have a minus D4 to all attack rolls, ability checks, and saving throws until you save against the spell. That is his turn. Next up is this dude here on the south side of the spear. He's going to rush 30 feet up, so it's going to be 6 squares. Thank you, Giles. And he's going to go ahead and, with his last square move, he's going to stand directly in front of...
4.
Yeah, right there.
All attack rolls and all.
And he's just going to look
saves
ready.
and whatnot.
It's attack save.
Jin.
It's not 4, it's minus D4.
Oh.
Yeah, minus D4.
Oh, I
Yes,
like
so
that.
anytime you make an attack roll or ability check or saving throw, you will roll a D4 and subtract that from the value.
And we get
So
to,
this is a debuff.
we get to try to remove it at the start of our next turn.
I believe it will be at the
It's
end
either
of
start
your
or end,
turn.
yeah.
Okay.
It's probably it.
Oh, that makes more sense.
Actually, there's no ongoing save, so it just keeps going until
Oh,
he loses
no.
concentration.
It's concentration, yeah.
Yeah, so most effects do allow you to keep trying to break it, but I guess because this is kind of like a curse, it's kind of like you've got to break the curse
It's
at the head.
Oh, so I just have to smack him and he
Pretty
loses
much.
hope
Just
well,
throw
hopefully.
some grapple
you hope
at
he
him.
loses it. Yeah.
Yes,
Not guaranteed.
because you actually have to break his concentration.
Results may vary.
Yes. So, Jin, the turn is yours.
Yeah, alright.
it. Je ne sais quoi.
So,
How do you say?
the turn is mine. I will...
It's Chinese. Je-
Okay.
Do you speak Chinese?
I'm going to, I clearly saw somebody cast some magic.
Yes, very clearly.
I'm going to look at that guy.
You can see his head kind of poking around the dude with the spear as he's
Okay.
making eye contact and muttering the incantation beneath his breath to hold the effect.
Okay. Is he behind cover?
I'd say he has half cover, so it's a +2 to AC.
Okay.
If you step to the side and get clear line of sight, no cover.
Sure. I'll
So
do
the
that.
person in front of him is covered.
Yes.
Yes.
Nice.
So I'll step here to have line of sight.
Cool.
I will, y'all can't see me, I'm in the back. Y'all are just gonna hear, and I'm going to,
Clap.
I'm going to,
Dang it, Giles.
kind of like rub my palms together, build up friction.
And
Yeah. That's 23 to hit.
Nice! And I gather you're targeting the hooded cloak dude.
Yes, I'm targeting the caster.
So that attack lands.
Yes.
very clearly. Roll damage.
That's damage in French.
Mac and
It is now.
Omelette du fromage. Y'all see a streak of fire zoom past all of you towards this guy. It's gonna kind of whistle by as it goes.
I like fire.
2 points of damage. Cool. He doesn't have to save against that, so he takes 2 points of damage.
Would you say
It's
he's
still better than
distracted?
one I rolled out of the thing. but-
Unfortunately not.
Oh.
Josh,
Cool.
quit double
It's
roll.
always
Quit
one of
double
those-
rolling. You can save the good roll for the next roll.
It doesn't work like that. I wish it did.
Alright, is there anything you wish to do with your remaining movement or your bonus action?
Bonus action, no. Remaining movement, I will just step back.
Okay, step back behind.
Step back behind us.
Cool. That's Jin. Okay.
Gia.
Sorry, Gia. It's the wrong letter.
Gia. Even Gia.
I like that.
Alright, so this dude up front with a knife, kind of holding the bag over his shoulder, he's going to sprint up 30 feet and kind of be, yep, right there. And he's going to go ahead and make his attack against Nimbus. His stab.
So I have,
So he's holding a knife, and it's kind of like the weighty,
Got a precious
shaky
stab.
knife, and he
I
like
feel like a
winds
dog.
up real big and attempts to shank you with it.
A little bit.
Just rolls a hit.
There's a character.
That is an 11
That's
to
what he
hit.
does.
That's a hit.
I don't have to do the D4 on that, do I?
No, because that's just your armor.
No, my AC is 16.
Cool. So it misses.
Yeah.
So he kind of winds up and goes in, but like it's obvious he's telegraphing. You kind of shift to the side and like, huh?
Dude,
Gotcha.
you're telegraphing. Stop it.
Yeah. Fix your form. And that's his.
Tell him when he's dead.
He's the one I'm gonna leave alive.
No.
Okay. Good
At
luck
least
with
to the
that.
end.
I don't think he thinks the same of you, but okay. That's his turn. The second dude with the knife, another bag over his shoulder.
Ooh.
Yeah, that one. Move him up 30 feet, and he'll just kind of form ranks with whoever's next to him. So can he actually shift one to the south, please?
I thought I might no.
Thank you much.
Oh,
Alright. Oh no!
He's
There
so
we go.
shaky.
okay.
There we go. We'll take that.
Is he going to the left? Is he going to the right?
Sora! Excellent timing. The turn is now yours.
Okay.
Every time.
I know what
You might have to change your name, I'm sorry.
No, don't do it. It's great.
Don't
Like,
look at pressure
oh,
yet.
it's actually Sierra.
No.
That's the silent. It's just aura.
Or
Aura. There's no winning here.
So Sora's a great name. I like it.
It is.
So what is Sora doing?
Sora means sky.
I want to shoot my lightning out, but I'll hit all of you. So that's
You can move.
Okay,
Yeah.
yes. I will move.
Chain your lightning through us.
10 feet
Just
to the
punch
right.
through the brick. And you can pass through allies as though they were not there.
Oh. Oh,
You
I
just
can
cannot
move.
end your space
You
on
can
them.
pass through, is what he said.
Like you
You
can
can
walk
walk
through them,
through
not
them.
like attack
Right.
through them.
Not attack through.
Right.
And I can move up to 30 feet, correct?
I'd
Yes, up to 30 feet.
stay behind the non-squishy people. But
I'm going to double check. Did you just
Already
break
got
something?
to?
Oh my
you
gosh.
stepped too hard.
It just snapped off of
That's what I was afraid of with one tiny clawed foot. It's fine. Just move your base. We'll know what it is. I'll fix it later.
Fix it in post.
We'll do it live.
With
Do it live!
great
Shot
graciousness,
it on
she
there.
stepped.
In front of me.
You know what? I'm gonna get really close.
Okay.
So
Nice.
do you have that much movement?
No, yeah, I counted 30.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you could have passed through allies.
Yeah,
Let me confirm something real quick. Because I need to just confirm what you're going to be doing.
Getting really nervous over here.
Right? What's he gonna do to you?
Well, it's kind of my fault. I moved up right in his face.
Yeah,
So I'm
really.
kind of taunting him.
Okay, gotcha. Cool.
Madison wants some too.
You can do whatever you're going to do.
Okay.
Make sure you swish it like.
I think or did I already use my action?
You have not used your
I
action.
know
You've only
you
used
know
your move
I
action.
know you know how to
I'm
drink
gonna-
liquor.
Shoot lightning straight through.
Okay, so you're going to use your breath
It's
weapon.
not
It's going to be a 30-foot line of lightning.
very,
So are you just hitting straight through these three dudes?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So you don't have to roll anything, but they have to roll to save against the effect.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
not,
This is that
the
dude.
burn is not
Your
super
character
bad.
stat
Here.
looks great.
My
And
preferred flavor palette for
Very
brown liquor is
seconds.
vanilla.
Where are they?
Where is she? Okay, here's their save. Did you mark what save type it
So
is?
this is not, like this is very clearly kind of in that vanilla area.
It's probably gonna just be
Kind of more like
Dex.
spice, but still mellow.
Right.
And
Yeah.
it's 34? Like
Yeah, just dexterity saving throw. So this is a saving throw they've got to make against the effect.
What are you doing?
They're rolling
line
saves.
of lightning.
These were all garbage friggin' rolls. So real quick, calculate your difficulty for that effect. It's gonna be 8 plus proficiency plus your constitution modifier. What is the DC that they're trying to beat?
11, 12.
So they're trying to beat a 12. None of them meet that 12. So they're gonna take full damage. So roll a D10.
You said 8 plus. Yeah, that's right.
8 plus con plus proficiency.
Okay.
So just roll a flat D10, and that's the amount of lightning damage that you deal to these 3 buckaroos.
It's not that one.
No.
It's the
Either
it's
of
the weird
those
like
is
flat looking one.
Either of those is good.
Roll big.
She did.
9.
9.
That's
Nice.
great.
Very nice.
That's good.
So one of them has to make a con save.
That is correct. He actually rolled good on that one. But that is 9 less hit points you've got to work your way through. So
Plus
as
the
you
2 that I did.
kind of breathe deep and just is there a particular way you'd like to describe as you
Your breath
exhale raw elemental
Yeah.
lightning from your bloodline?
Okay, so I can feel my ancestors with me, and then everything goes silent, right? I black out a little bit,
Okay.
and everybody just sees my chest, right? And then my eyes kind of glaze over,
Okay.
and then it just shoots out. It's very dramatic.
Is it with a shout or just a sharp exhalation?
It's gonna be, you can't hear it. It's just gonna be.
Okay. So as the lightning streaks out, there's a split second where you see a flash of light, and as the lightning strikes through them, and then there's the strike of thunder behind
So
that
you hear a
lightning.
crack of thunder.
A
Right?
crack of thunder, not quite like a lightning storm, but there is a crack that comes behind it. As everyone kind of staggers, much less these 3 dudes who have just had lightning shot through their faces. So that's spear and spear. do.
Giles. It's taser face.
There.
Mama named
You
Taser face.
down to there. Okay. None of those 3 dudes are looking very good right now. They're all looking pretty rough.
You're looking pretty
Um,
good, guys.
The turn is now the dude up in. Actually, the dude behind Mr. Angry McEdgison. He's gonna skirt around to the south of Edgy McEggerson, and then he's gonna step up to beside the empty base where Sora is. So he's gonna actually step up 1 further.
2 more.
Yeah, there we go.
Imagine
And he's gonna strike out with his spear.
Next time
Yeah,
you should
they're
get one of
telegraphing
those like little LED like lights.
Oh, I should get a
so you
laser
can point
pointer.
to it. Yeah, laser
I
pointer.
have one. It's just not in here. Let's see. Does an 18 hit?
I'm 17. Yeah.
Does hit. Okay, so he's gonna roll damage.
17 years old.
Well, that's why you can't drink. That is gonna be 4 points of damage to you.
Okay.
17 at level 1 is still very good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's incredible. Y'all all have just absolute insane stats.
Yep.
Okay, and that was his turn. He just shoves his spear inside of you, and he's never fought a dragonborn before, but he just happens to get that right spot and catches it between a couple of scales, and it doesn't glance off, so it thrusts in. Your dense musculature kind of prevents him from sinking it deep, but he does cut deep enough to make it hurt.
Obviously, I'm in pain. I'm hunched over.
That is correct. The turn is yours, Nimbus. What do you wish to do?
Now, as long as I don't move beyond his striking range, the guy in front of me doesn't get attack of opportunity, right?
That is correct. As long as you stay within 5 feet of him.
So, the first thing I want to do is walk around here.
Like
Okay.
that.
So it's 1, 2, 3.
Actually, that's 1, 2 technically.
Yeah.
If you move diagonal.
So 1, 2.
You can move
So actually, you can move diagonally as if it were 1 square.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Kind of as you kind of spin, dodge around him. Ill-advised, but he's already done.
I want to strike this guy.
Okay, the dude with the spear and shield out front, right? He's got a shield. No,
Yeah.
the other dude's got the shield. This dude's
Yeah.
just got the spear. Okay,
Okay.
it's kind of hard to see from here.
All right.
And just for the record, you have your rapier and what drawn?
My rapier and my short sword.
Okay, you have rapier and beauty.
Yeah, Mina and Beauty. Yeah.
Mina and beauty.
Mina, why?
Dex plus proficiency.
Well, even that is only a 8.
8, unfortunately, is not going to hit. But you
Okay.
can make a bonus action attack with 2-weapon fighting.
Bonus action I'm going to do. Maybe I can still get that.
Because, yes.
Sweet. I rolled a 2.
Oh, no!
Alright.
So you kind of spin dodge around this dude you're already in combat with, and you get your footing, but you kind of pivot a little further, and you're a little dazed, and you strike out, and it's oh wait a minute, and you strike out, so you bracket him on both sides.
And I kind of shout to the guy behind me, see? They'll never know when the actual attack is coming.
A little too much of a pirouette. Well, that's actually 8 before your D4. subtraction.
Oh, that's right.
What?
You have to subtract d4s. Thank you,
Oh,
Giles.
yeah.
So yeah, you really missed.
Wait, what is that? Yeah.
Yeah, you really missed. Yes, Nimbus. Eritrea, the turn is now yours.
Alright. I would like to draw my bow, which is currently, well, I guess it's already drawn actually. I'm going to aim at the gentleman with the shield right here.
Okay. So the one off to the south.
Yes, so south.
You've got clear line of sight on him.
Do I roll for
You will roll to hit. Just a straight d20 plus dex plus proficiency.
22?
22 to hit. That hits. Roll damage. It's going to be a d8 plus dexterity for you.
4 plus 4, 8.
Nice. So you line up that shot almost like you did just the day prior. You're not really moving, so it's a really easy shot to make. You just pull it up, drop back, and release it, and it sinks deep in his chest, and he clutches it and falls back on his fear, trying to hold himself up. Tries to pull up, but sinks back down, almost as though you would cut a critical artery. He is dead. Can you go ahead and topple him over off towards the south?
Yeah!
First
Murder! We did it!
Murder! That's Mr. Shield Bro.
I see some dead people.
See, at
Okay.
least one.
So this archer dude in the back,
Possibly
he
a whole
saw
bunch
what
of
just
them.
went down. So this dude lingered in the back, who's really slow for whatever reason. He's gonna shift those 2 diagonal spaces to southwest.
It's curiosity.
Oh, that's okay.
Oh my
Push
gosh.
him one further. That's fine.
Does
He's
So
melted!
one more south, and then push him up 2 west.
1, 2.
Thank you. And he's gonna go ahead and make actually 2 ranged attacks at Eritrea.
With what hand?
The bow that you just knocked off because you're using your human powers to ruin my miniatures that I
Definitely not trying.
No, you're not. That is a 6 to hit and a 21 to hit.
So 21 hits.
Okay, the 21 hits.
Armor class, right?
Yes, versus armor class. And where's my dice? There's my dice. Alright, so he's firing his longbow. He shoots. That's 5 points of damage as the arrow careens across the battlefield and strikes you in the shoulder.
So subtract that from constitution, right?
Huh?
Subtract from constitution.
Actually, you'll subtract it from your hit points.
Okay. Is it
-5, that is correct. And Winifred. The turn is now finally yours.
Yay! I love getting to go last.
With a minus d4.
Yeah, so roll good.
I am going to cast Sleep.
Oh! Be very careful where you put this. 'Cause
Yes,
you've got
for
allies and
So it's
friendly
within
fire.
20 feet. So
Okay.
Is it a radius?
Yes.
It is a radius.
So I'm gonna
What
put
is the
it-
radius?
I'm gonna put it right here. It's
Okay.
20 feet.
20
so
feet.
That's
1, 2, 3,
okay.
4. So that's
I'll put it here.
okay. Yeah. 1,
right here.
2, 3, 4. So that hits just the dude with the spear and everyone else.
Yes.
Okay.
Every not ally.
Every not ally. Yes. I am glad that you are not a chaotic neutral wizard who cares not where they put their fireball.
Sounds
Okay.
like an experience that you've had.
Yeah, just a little bit. Experience that you've almost had as well.
Yeah.
We both had
Thankfully, I'm good.
a wizard who was a
dodging.
loose cannon.
Y'all mentioned a lot. There's some ill will there.
A little bit.
Just a touch.
These are all different players, by the way. Okay, so roll 5d8.
Uh-huh. Does anybody have some
So what's a little bit of
D8s I could
fireball between
borrow?
friends?
I
I
don't
do.
particularly want
Here,
to be.
pass these down. Here's 2 d8s.
Thank you.
Is that enough?
Yes.
Okay.
Unless you want yours in there.
It's okay.
It's just my
It's okay. I didn't want to.
How many d8s is it?
5 d8s. And you're casting this at first level, correct?
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
10, 3, 16, 17, 21.
No, it's
Right?
it's 17, 10. Oh, no, 21. Yeah, you're right. This one.
I did math.
Sure
You did
did.
math. So what is the total?
21.
21. Cool. So can I see my dice back? It's the silver one and the speckly brown and blue one.
Give it back.
So it's based
Oh,
off of
no,
how
this
many
is a-
remaining hit points they have, right?
That is correct. So starting with the one at the lowest,
Yeah.
it's gonna be Mr. Knife Dude there on the right in the north.
Mr. Knife.
He is asleep. What is the value you said again?
21.
21.
I'm just going to turn him around and make him be asleep.
That's fair.
That sounds good.
He should be prone actually.
Okay,
So go ahead and knock
so
him
we'll
prone.
remove this guy,
Okay,
knock him down.
there we go. Pivot him so he's
Keeps
back
rolling.
facing east. There we go. Next lowest would be Mr. Spear Dude out front. He goes down as well.
Is one of them is the one that's concentrating on Bane.
Correct.
Oh, you
but
didn't
it goes
roll, you
in.
didn't roll your minus
It
D4.
goes in.
But
No, she doesn't have to because it's not an attack roll, saving throw, or ability check.
Nice.
Yep. But it goes in ascending order in relation to hit points remaining.
Right.
Mr. Debuff Dude goes down.
This is the debuff guy?
Yeah, Debuff Dude goes down.
Take that, Edge Lord.
Yes, Edgy McEdgerson. And the ranger here stays up, kind of almost like shifts to the side, but catches himself and shakes his head.
Wow. He's
Yeah.
got a high
Let's
HP.
go.
He hasn't been touched yet, so yeah.
Yeah. It was only 21 points of. I mean, not only, but it was 21 points versus, like.
Spread across 4 dudes.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's spread across.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's not total.
Yeah, that'd be
Or
busted.
it's
if
not
it was-
each.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
level
Every-
1.
Everybody would take sleep, and combat would never happen.
Yeah.
We all get really good rest.
Yeah. Yeah.
Before he gets stabbed.
Yeah. No one ever takes fireball. Everybody only ever takes sleep.
And just upcast at the 9th level.
Yeah.
God mode spell. Okay. Anything with your bonus action or your move action, Winifred?
No, I don't think I have a bonus action or anything.
Okay.
This should be good.
Okay, cool. So Mr. Acolyte is asleep. What save does he get? He no longer has concentration, so Bane is no longer happening for you guys.
So no more minus D4.
I didn't like it. Not that it really did anything.
Same for you.
Huh?
The Bane is gone.
Okay.
Yes. Actually,
So-
I would like to use a bonus action.
Okay.
That's okay.
What is the bonus action?
Who has taken the most damage?
Out of the players?
Actually, one of these two, isn't it?
That's for y'all to decide.
I had minus 4 hit points. And
5 and 4.
Current hit points 7.
6.
6. Okay, I'm going to cast Shield of Faith.
That's a leveled spell. You can't cast 2 level spells in the same turn.
Oh, in the same turn.
That's
That's.
You can cast a
I
cantrip in a
forgot
leveled
about
spell.
that.
You can't cast both. in the
Can't
same
you
turn.
cast Sword of Salvation?
True.
That's a freaking cool spell, but no.
I like where your head's at.
If my head was in it,
yeah.
Actually, if you haven't stood out, it's Salvation,
Yes.
Sword of the Spirit.
Right.
That too!
That's
Dang it, I really did mess up.
what you said you liked where your head's at.
Oh,
Yeah.
Anything bonus action, move action?
No.
Cool. Top of the turn order. Mr. McEdgy, he's sleeping.
Sure.
Really good for the first time in a while.
Aw, nightmares.
Nope, no nightmares, unfortunately. Mr. Spear Dude, he's still sleeping. Gia,
All right.
the turn is yours. Striking anyone who's down on the ground is with a ranged attack or a ranged spell attack is a disadvantage because they are prone.
Okay.
Oh.
But they are currently incapacitated, so it's an automatic crit if you hit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it advantage on melee attacks?
So advantage on...
Or is it just a crit?
So, for ranged attacks, it is at disadvantage because they're on the ground, but because they're incapacitated, it is a critical hit automatically if you hit.
Okay.
Melee attack, as long as you hit, it's a critical. Because they're incapacitated, but you don't have that prone versus not prone debuff.
Interesting. Oh, that was something we didn't talk about. Was how
Actually, no, I'm sorry. You do have advantage because they're prone. Yeah, I was mistaken there.
Advantage.
melee attacks are advantage?
Melee are at advantage if you're standing and they're prone.
Okay.
Ranged attacks are disadvantaged if they're flat, if they're prone at all.
But automatic crit if you hit.
Correct, because they're incapacitated.
So something we didn't cover was how are we handling crits?
Oh yeah. Your choice: either roll twice or double the value, but you have to choose before you roll.
Okay.
And you're going to double the value of the dice, not your ability modifiers.
Right. Well. I'll go for the guy that's still standing.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Are you going to
Let's
shift?
see.
I think you'd have to step in front of Eritrea to get a good line of sight.
No.
Aren't there still two standing?
Hear that.
No,
I'm
there's only
thinking
one.
of...
Yeah. So there's this.
The
Oh,
sing version?
That's true.
He was outside of the.
I was
effective
gonna
zone.
say the gorilla or...
Yes, he was.
I'll just attack him.
Yeah.
Huh?
I'll just attack him then.
Cool.
You mean the best movie ever created?
He's got a knife.
That is such an all-star cast. Oh my
It
gosh.
really is.
I got
I've
an
seen the
11.
second
An 11 to hit.
It's really
That's.
good. I really like that one.
I need to confirm. Consult tome.
What does the tone say?
I like this music.
Yeah.
I do too. I'm glad you like it.
Such a
Survey says
That's what I needed.
Yeah.
that is a miss, unfortunately.
Alright, I'll do this.
It's okay. Keep your head up.
Yeah. All right.
You're doing great!
The turn goes to actually him. He's gonna try and take a stab at Mrs. Heavy Armor over here.
Woo!
Cheers for getting hurt. That's a new
Yeah.
one. So he's going to.
This is the one guy in the back who's standing up, right?
No, this is the dude with a knife standing in front of Winifred.
Yeah.
Yeah, right behind you. He's the one you spin dodged
I
around.
literally ignored the guy right in front of me to try to help y'all.
Does a 22 hit?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Did you even have to ask?
Yes, I did. You're lucky. That's only 2 points of damage. Because he's swinging at you with his short sword, and he goes for a stab, and you're able to see it coming out of the corner. And you shift to lessen the blow, but he still catches you with some blunt force trauma against the armor. That's Mr. Knife 2. Mr. Knife number 1 is out cold. Sora, the turn is yours.
I can't not say it. Sora!
Have you considered not?
Like I said, I can't not.
Okay, I'm gonna move here. Okay, actually, this is all I'm gonna move.
Trample.
Yes.
Okay, are you gonna attack anyone or do anything or? Because you can move your 2 remaining spaces if you want to close the distance to that double range attack dude. Okay, cool. And that's your move action. Are you gonna do anything else?
Yeah, I'm gonna punch him in the face.
You're gonna punch in the face. Cool.
Do
Roll.
it. I'm gonna do the wind up and then.
Ah, yeah. So roll to attack d20 plus proficiency plus dexterity.
Okay.
That's not a d20.
Sorry. 19.
19! That definitely hits. Roll damage. It's going to be a d4 plus dexterity. It's going to be the top number.
6.
So 6 points of damage.
Nice.
Okay. So he's still standing. Now, because you have the martial arts feature, you can, whenever you make an attack with the unarmed attack, you can make a bonus action attack for free with an unarmed attack.
Oh yeah, I'll take it. I'm just.
Yes.
I'm,
So actually, were you punching him or were you hitting him with your hand axe?
No, I was punching him. So
Okay.
can I still do the hand knives, or is this opportunity?
Technically, no.
Okay. No, it's okay. I'll do
But
the punch.
so the technical order is you would use your monk weapon first, and then you make the arm attack.
Okay, that's good to know though for future reference.
So you kind of wind up with that punch, and now you're coming for like a kick or something, or like an elbow strike with a bonus action if you so choose.
So can I do a roundhouse?
If you so choose,
Alright,
yes.
I so choose a roundhouse.
Roll to hit. D20 plus proficiency plus dexterity.
Oh, nice.
23.
23. That definitely
Me
is.
for the fingers.
So you come with the roundhouse. Roll damage. D4 plus dexterity.
3, 7.
7 damage. Cool.
Nice.
He is not looking good. So you kind of catch him on the jaw, and then you jump on the opposite side. And it's like his chin goes one way, and then chin goes the other way with the roundhouse kick.
And I'm doing this very angrily, so you can see it in my face.
Understandable.
You just hear Winifred from the back, like, "Woo, go girl!"
Cool.
I want him to know I'm upset. I'm
Nice.
I'm
Well
displeased
done.
with you right now.
And that is your turn, Sora. Nimbus, the
This
turn
is
is
like
yours.
a big moment for your character
Alright.
too, because like
So there's a dude behind you.
you put
with
behind
one of your
the
friends next to him.
pacifism.
Yep.
Punched him right in the face.
It's full circle for me.
Alright.
Yeah.
If you miss this, you might become the mascot character. So don't miss this.
You get 2 tries. With no bang.
Okay. I thought it was a 2 again for a second.
Oh.
I was like, oh my gosh. Okay. So 9 plus 2 plus 4 is 15.
That's gonna hit. Roll damage. D8 plus dexterity piercing.
Okay. Does that include a sneak attack bonus?
Plus a D6.
Okay.
So D8 and a D6.
That's not Alright, that's an 8 plus a 4.
Not plus the D6.
Plus a D6.
Oh, plus dexterity, right?
Oh. So 8 plus 4. So you rolled max on that right here.
Yeah.
Nice.
Plus 3. So that's
15?
15.
8 plus 12. Yeah, 15.
Nice. So you kind of get your bearings again. You're like, okay, whatever. I'm just gonna deal with the guy behind me. You whip around and thrust it strong into him, and you thrust it into upper torso, and you catch him by a lung, and you kind of rip it out, and he just crumples to the ground, just absolutely done with life.
This is how you slash, I say, as he goes down. If I move, I still have a bonus action, right?
You do still have a bonus action.
And can I use movement? And
You
just-
can use movement.
Okay, I would like to go to the edgelord guy.
Mr. Edgeworth. He's in the back of that pile, but you can. I think you can get there.
1, 2, 3, I think.
Yeah, that would be 3, and I would say just move east 1 and stand there,
No, we'll just keep.
and you can
Yeah.
make a bonus action attack that way.
Actually, I want to tie him up.
That would cost an action.
That's an action to
That
tie
would be an
someone up?
action to tie someone up.
Okay, well,
that would take some time.
well, which one of them was the weakest,
Yeah.
like in terms of health?
Probably those 2 dudes on the front line, or the spear dude first, and then the knife dude next.
Okay. And the spear dude, if he's sleeping, his shield isn't doing anything, right?
Correct.
Okay. Well, I'll go ahead and attack spear dude then.
Okay. So go ahead and shift yourself up west 1. Oh yeah, you can do that. So attack him. You're gonna have advantage, and this is an automatic crit if you hit. And because you have advantage, nope, you've already used your sneak attack once, so it's just straight damage with an automatic crit if you hit.
But he does
Yeah.
have advantage.
It does
Yeah.
no advantage.
Okay.
You will roll
Don't
twice.
miss this.
Imagine rolling double nat ones.
Okay. Well, that's a 13, so I definitely hit.
That is gonna hit, and it's gonna be crit. So roll a d6. Either roll a d6 and double it, or roll it twice.
But you have to decide now.
I'm gonna double it.
Okay.
I feel good. I feel 2.
Well, that's 4 plus.
No.
No, it
I
was
feel
1.
2 total. Good.
Yeah.
Oh no!
I had a feeling.
Ouch!
I had a
Woo! That
I
hurts.
got it.
So 2 plus what?
Oh, so 3 damage.
3 damage?
Wait, you said 2 plus 1?
Oh, wait a minute. You don't have the 2-weapon fighting style, so it's just the raw damage.
Yes.
Or this is raw dice.
So 2 damage in his face.
Which dude is this?
That was the
He's
spear.
the spear dude with the shield.
Let me guess, that's just enough to kill him and not wake
That
him up?
actually is just enough to kill him
Let's go.
and not wake him up.
Died in his sleep.
So that's me
So
not
peaceful.
wanting to be grotesquely overpowered.
Yes.
You're sitting here
You ended
Yeah.
him politely with a
Yeah.
clean stick to the foot.
If it
Just
makes you
enough.
feel okay, and I'll whisper to him, if it makes you feel better, I'm tying him up.
No, it doesn't. So he's down and done. We can go ahead and move his. And thank you.
Yeah, I'm not a meme.
You're gonna be a meme anyways. You can't stop it.
I
The
can't.
march of the meme will.
As
never
if I
end.
strive to not be a meme, I'll be a meme.
Yeah, what's that view that
There's
you have
Freya.
camera
The turn
on
is
the
yours.
backside?
There are 2 people on the ground currently, and 1 person standing behind a giant lizard lady. You can hit them, but with -2 damage.
Question.
I just
Changing
wanna
weapon
I only got one
responses,
present, but I
bonus
got-
action.
I would so you get 1 free object interaction, and I would say you can use your bonus action for an additional one.
Okay.
Dropping a weapon would be free. However, if you stow it, that would be your interaction.
I. And can I face step as a bonus action?
You can,
Okay.
but you can't do more than 1 thing with your bonus action. So you could drop the bow, draw a sword, and face step.
Okay. That's what I was planning to do.
Okay, cool,
Alright, so I'm going to drop my bow.
cool.
I'm going to face step.
So actually, we can move that little bow right where you're standing.
And then we all scramble.
I'm gonna face step. It's 60?
30 feet.
Is it
So it's 6 spaces.
6 spaces? Okay.
Yes.
It's like, dang, she's a lot of movement.
Cool.
Okay. And use my short sword to slice.
To coup de grace. Okay. Go ahead and make an attack with advantage. And I would say move 1 space further east.
Yeah.
Just
Here?
this, east, not south.
East.
So
Towards me.
towards there you go.
Yeah, there's a compass rose down there, by the way.
That would be. Okay. I'm not rolling for.
You're just rolling an attack right now.
Roll to attack with advantage.
2 d20s. 4 and 1 twice.
Yeah, and just take the higher value.
16 or 16.
16 or 16, nice. 16 it is. Plus whatever, it's like plus 6 or something.
Yeah, plus 6.
Cool, so 22. Definitely hits. And now this will be an automatic critical hit. So roll a d6 either twice or roll it once and double it. But you must choose now.
I'm gonna roll 2.
Cool. That one of those is not a
10.
d6.
Well, not they're
Oh,
both.
neither of them are d6s.
Neither
actually.
of those are d6s.
Oh!
Party foul!
I got
I
16!
was wondering. I'm like, I feel like I'm done. That's right.
So there you go. 7. And you get to add your ability modifier to that because that is your main hand attack.
Oh, so 7 plus 6, 13. Nope.
Plus
Modifier.
6?
No.
Ability modifier, so
Ability
dexterity
modifier?
modifier.
Oh, dexterity.
Yes.
So 11.
11. Still very good. Very dead.
Nice.
Very dead.
Very.
And that's dude holding a knife. That's knife.
What do you have? A knife.
No! Okay. It is the scout's turn. They're actually gonna drop their bow, pull a knife, and go shank
On who?
on Sora because she's standing right in front of the scout
Oh,
person.
right.
Right. Let's see. We're looking at an 8 to hit and a 14 to hit. Do either of those hit you?
17. No.
Cool. So they miss. So they shank, and they hit solid scales. So they aim for your gut. 'Cause that's what you do when you shank something. But they go shank. And they look at their knife, and it's bent. Because they're like, they're not used to fighting someone with scales, much less dragon scales. So they like shuffle back in fear, and they're gonna turn and run 30 feet. Or actually, they're gonna turn and run 15 feet and stop because I see the rest of the garrison there. So go ahead and turn around, run 15 feet east. He is leaving your melee range, so if you so choose, you can make a attack of opportunity.
Yeah.
Cool. So roll a d20
Okay. Yeah.
because this will be an unarmed attack.
9.
9 plus-
9 plus.
13. Plus my proficiency as well.
Dexterity and proficiency, yes.
15.
15. That definitely hits. Go ahead and roll for damage. D4 plus dexterity.
6.
6 points of damage. Wait, 6 total?
Oh, yeah, 4
Okay.
plus the 2.
That is enough. So you kind of catch him, kind of. I don't know. How would you like to grab? Like, finish him? Because he's gonna be done.
Like, okay, I get
He
to
is
finish him?
done. So actually,
Okay.
go ahead and drop him within 5 feet of where Sora is.
Okay, question.
Yes.
Am I able to lift him in the air?
You can lift him.
Okay.
You can Batista bomb this man
Okay, so what happens
I'll just move off because
is I grab him by the neck.
by the neck.
I lift this dude really high,
Uh huh.
and then I kind of throw him, do a quick roundhouse kick because I'm really fast.
Okay.
And then
So you-
gone.
Let's go.
So just this giant dragon lady tosses this man in the air, not necessarily by the neck, just because your
Okay.
body mechanics don't work there, but you grab him like under, so you grab on top of the shoulder and underneath him, and you toss him up over your shoulder, and you roundhouse behind you.
Can I hit him in the head?
You hit him into the head,
Yeah.
and he slaps against the side of the tavern, shaking the walls, not busting through the walls, fortunately. But he slumps dead in basically that ditch between the road and the tavern. And that right there ends combat because
there's one guy
Mr.
still alive.
Can I?
He's
Can I?
unconscious. but
yeah, he's unconscious.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Can I
He's
tie
not
him up?
fighting. So combat is
I
over.
really want to tie this guy up.
I wanna
I would
interrogate
interrogate.
the guy.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I did.
He's the most
I did
edgelord
two
out of
damage.
all of them.
He
He's gonna
is, yeah.
It's better than
It's
nothing.
better than nothing, but I did 2 damage. Feels bad.
Hey, I did 2 damage on the guy and he died.
But I only did 2 damage. Period.
Do you have a hypnosis spell on your sleeve?
No.
Ooh.
Did
Yeah.
you
Not
want me
yet.
to do a
Not
hypnosis
not
spell?
prepared yet.
I'm pretty persuasive.
Huh?
That's good.
You have some things. that you can
I
pull.
have something.
Yes, so combat is over. If you so choose, you may tie him up.
Oh, I'd like to tie him up, but while I'm doing that, can I see the gate and see how things are going over there?
You look back, and there's still some fighting, but by this time they've actually pulled a couple of dudes off the fighting group to actually lower the portcullis. The portcullis was lowered. Those bandits who are still remaining are either dispatched or in manacles and actually being taken. Like they're beginning to being picked up off the ground and being ready to be taken into
Okay.
wherever the jailhouse is.
So these were
before.
And those on the other side of the portcullis, they're beaten feet. They're gone.
Okay.
so these were real people.
These are real people.
So before anything else happens, while I'm tying this guy up,
So much murder.
and as soon as he's secure, I'm through his pockets, getting as much good stuff from him as possible. Does he have anything good on him?
Just stealing
So
from
he's
this
got-
unconscious man.
He's
He
got
literally
a-
attacked us. Okay.
Mhm.
He hurt me.
I assume we're gonna loot all of the bodies.
Okay.
Oh, that's a good idea. We should do that.
So this man, the Edgy McEdgerson, he's got a black cloak. He's got his staff, which is an arcane implement. It's a wizard staff kind of thing. Not exclusive to wizards though. He's got a knife, and he has 3 gold pieces on him.
Oh my gosh, that is like 300% more money than I have right now.
How much you pay for breakfast then?
I have 6 silver pieces. You shut your mouth. Not 6,
All right.
9.
So who else do we have to loot? We've got what at this point? Everyone else. So is everyone else being looted?
Yeah.
I think
yes.
so.
Okay. What I'll do is I will tally all this. We have staff.
While you tally that up, I would like to use healing word on Sora.
Oh.
Welcome.
And then
It's a 1d4.
Oh, you know what? I fail. I'm so bad at this. I should have done something in combat to be better, and I didn't.
Aw, we're
Right. Clove.
Feels bad, man.
No, feel bad, man. Yep.
I'll do it next. I'll do it next
And
time.
then
Saving
I
your
read
truth.
someone
Yep.
multiple, and then I heard you that.
Hindsight is 20/20.
Yeah, I could have very easily not missed my second attack.
Yeah.
Like especially because I'm pretty sure I got 11. I could have very easily not missed my attack.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna have who all is doing the looting?
I think we're all.
I think we'll all
So you're all right with your pockets, morality aside. Cool. Each of y'all roll your choice of either perception or investigation.
roll perception or investigation, everybody.
Okay.
Probably perception. Doesn't matter. Oh yeah.
Woo! That's a crit, baby.
Nice.
That is a total of 20.
Cool.
A crit when it doesn't matter.
16.
Yeah.
I mean, it matters a little bit.
16, 20.
Every crit matters.
Don't you
That's right.
downplay Luke.
That's right. Every crit matters.
Got a 8.
An 8. Okay, cool.
15.
And a 15.
I got the natural 20.
Oh, natural.
Don't you go and buy that manufacturing 20. You
Yeah.
want the next.
Alright.
You're right, Strange old man. I do.
We're actually gonna
Just completely.
Just
cut the battle map, Cam.
You want that all American 20. First string.
It's so much more American than the 20 other.
Oh,
Eagle
this is
hawks
fun.
in the distance.
Hard drive is full.
Rip.
Oh no.
That's fun. I did not expect that one. So we lost my camera, we lost the mic, but it's fine. We'll continue off of that audio. This is fine. Did not see that coming. Okay, rolling for loot. So we got what? A nat 20, a 20, a 16, and a 15, and an 8. Cool. So this is just to see if you can like find gold and small valuables on their
I'm
person.
gonna have to cut myself off for the rest of it.
So you find on their person, amongst the remaining the remaining 5 bodies, you find 8 pieces of silver. Actually, wait a minute. 10 silvers and 6 gold. Collectively.
Collectively,
Collectively.
8 silvers and
6 gold. Yeah.
Can we...
That's basically 7 gold.
So almost, yeah. There's 5 of us.
Well,
No, there's
I'll give up
4
my
of us.
share to the pointy.
No, there's
pointy
Winifred, I
ear.
already got my share off this guy right here. You take yours.
Oh.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
That's
Fred.
awfully kind. Oh, I'm talking hick again. You know what?
That's a character trait now.
I'm just gonna have to just make it hick.
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of did it in your intro.
Yeah.
Are we
Kinda have to.
are we going to above table? Are we gonna have a shared purse, or are we gonna have individual bank?
It's up to y'all.
Individual.
I feel like at this point, individual, because I feel like we haven't, while we've done combat together, we haven't necessarily established
We're not
ourselves
married
as.
yet.
There we go.
Quite
Yeah.
trauma bond.
Then in that case, I'm taking 2 of the gold.
Okay. That leaves 4 for the rest of you guys to fight over.
Alright.
Tooth and claw.
I'll
could
take 1
fight.
gold.
Okay.
I'll take a gold.
Cool. So that leaves 2 for either 2 or 1 of you.
Just 1 and 1.
I already have 3. You can take the rest.
Okay.
Cool. That's decided. And then there is 1 staff. It is an arcane focus. 3 knives, 2 spears, and 1 longbow with
Are these knives daggers?
their daggers. Yes.
I'm gonna rush on over to the bow that was dropped previously.
And it's 5 with 5 arrows.
Well, for a moment, I'm like, not.
One of the guys you said had a shield.
He did have a shield. Thank you.
Can I
Yes.
have that?
I think he kind of thinks.
Yes, you may grab the shield.
What is it?
See, you're
It's just a regular old shield.
I know, it's
It's just
great
round shield.
positioning.
Okay, okay.
We're,
Problem?
we're all gonna be a bunch of hillbillies by the end
I'll
of
get
this.
it. I'll figure it out.
I have
I know.
a shield.
I love being a hillbilly.
I'll take a
Yeah,
dagger.
hillbilly's
That's why
fun.
I'm like, this
Huh?
is bro
This
dagger,
is
please.
ridiculous.
Okay. There are 3 daggers.
I'll just take 1.
Take the 1 dagger.
You know what I should do?
So mark that down on your inventory.
So you
I
said
should try to. Oh, go ahead.
just 3 daggers. You said
Now there's 2.
a staff.
A staff, which is an arcane implement, 2 spears, and a longbow with 5 arrows.
The staff was on the guy that I looted, right?
Correct.
Okay.
What are the stats on the longbow? Same.
Same as yours.
Nah.
I assume there's nothing special about this staff.
It's all-
What's the
Normal
deal with
stuff.
staffs? Like,
Some of it's kind of dirty, some of it's a little worn, but
What's the deal with like arcane implement stats? Like,
It just allows you to cast spells through it if you're able to cast, if you have the spell casting feature.
all right, who wants a staff but 1 gold? I'm just kidding.
For 1 gold.
I'm just
I
kidding.
was literally thinking like, all this is just gonna get taken and sold.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Or
it's
absorbed
not
into the village or the town armory.
So like, if you can already do a spell, it's
So
useless to
this allows you to do it without spending material components that do not cost some.
Cost money, yeah.
Oh,
For example, Fireball requires you to have bat guano to cast it. You can sub that out for an arcane focus.
really bad guano?
Yes, it is oddly specific.
It's the fan.
It is in the
Fireball.
rules.
It is in the rules.
Somehow.
The idea is that it's supposed to be like a precursor to gunpowder,
Okay.
because gunpowder was historically created using guano.
You're a Fey person. Do you use spellcasting?
Not at my current level.
Is it
I have some
yet?
cantrips, but
Then in that case, I might just walk over to you and give you the staff.
I
Okay, I
appreciate
guess I'll
the,
take
the
it.
thing you used to
You're one of
spellcast
the
fireball is also the same
3
thing. It was
people
originally
that can use
mascara. The
Gross.
original mascara ingredient.
We talked about that in Bible study too.
We actually
They're
did.
talking about mascara?
Unfortunately, by this time, all of our cameras had run out of space to record more footage. So, I'll summarize the events that took place during the final hour of Session 1. When the cultist I referred to as Edgy McEdgerson was awoken by the party after having been bound as a prisoner, Eritrea and Gia took point on his interrogation. There were a variety of questions asked by the whole party, some of which including, who do you work for? What was that creature that ran through here? Where did it come from? Why are you here? What did they pay you? And so on and so forth. The cultist merely responded with little more than crazed laughter and the phrase, "The end is nigh. Knight and bishop are upon us, and the advent of Rook is here. All hail Taelos, master of Rook, Knight, and Bishop. We will be spared for our loyalty. This world will start anew!" And he descended into cackling after that. As the party continued to press him for answers with little luck, Winifred intercepted the guard captain who was approaching to apprehend the attacker, and managed to stall for time. Unfortunately, though, Eritrea and Gia were unable to gather anything of value in the additional time that Winifred had bought them. After the cultist was apprehended, one of the party members wondered aloud what might be of interest on that side of town that the creature they now knew as Night rode into. Winifred answered after a few moments of thought that there really wasn't much of interest. However, the Merchants Guild office was on that side of town. After a long moment of silence from the party, people began putting 2 and 2 together, and realized the implications of the events of today and the information just shared. So the party left for the Merchants Guild office only to find a crowd of people gathered around a broken window in front of an empty display stand. As Winifred, Sora, and Nimbus pressed into the crowd to investigate what had happened there, Gia and Eritrea decided to hang back and survey the surroundings. And it's a good thing they did too, because in the distance they noticed an old man shambling in their direction, shouting dire predictions about the end of the world and that this was a dark omen. They moved to intercept the man in the event that he was a threat, but opened up conversations without hostility, asking about the dark omens he was speaking of. The old man, in a shaky voice, recounted what many would call simple mythology, but sounded uncannily like the dream that Eritrea had witnessed the night before, and Gia for the first time in totality that same night. Gia told the man that he believed what he was saying, and that he wanted to learn more. The old man regarded him thoughtfully, and after a long moment of thought, punctuated by silence, he asked the tall Gia to remove his hood. Without even a moment of hesitation, Gia revealed his face. A face of ashen color, a thick black beard and bushy hair, war paint under his eyes, and most interestingly, those eyes were glowing purple. The man, being satisfied, told Gia that he could put his hood back over his head for now, and said that he and his friends should join him for lunch at his manor, and then he beckoned Gia and his companions to follow. Gia and Eritrea shared a look, paused for a moment, and decided to follow along. They gathered the other party members on their way past the Merchants Guild office and set out behind this man on what is the introduction into Session 2.